Hey guys, it's game day. See, I'm a bit dark in the shot, but welcome back. It's Cape Town. As you can see in the back from view of here, there's the city centre. That's more or less where the game is going to take place this afternoon. It's been a wonderful week. There's a bit of a breeze going in Cape Town, a bit of a southeaster. Hope that doesn't pick up too much. It says apparently around 30 k's an hour. It's going to be around about 10, 11 degrees at kickoff. So it's going to be an interesting contest. The stadium is looking perfect. It's looking wonderful. Just yesterday, I was there for the captain's practice. Really good, really amazing looking pitch. It's a massive game, and we're all looking forward to it. So I thought this is something new I'm trying. It's not my own idea. I've seen it copied by, I'm copying somebody else's, some other guys who I've seen do it in other sports and stuff. But just to sum up the entire week and maybe get a nice little bit of a vibe going on the way to the if you've got nothing to do and you're waiting, you want to build up the game and not watch the TV broadcast. This is basically going to sum up the entire week, and we'll have a look at exactly what happened in the build-up for this week, beginning with last week's game. Yeah, last week we saw quite an interesting game. The All Blacks played exceptionally well for 67, 68 minutes. Springboks had enough in them to come back at the end there. A lot was made of the game. A lot was made of Bongi's try that wasn't. A lot was made of a number of things in that game. Of course, we had the first try, which was double banking by the All Blacks. And yeah, in this clip, analyst Gust explains it quite well why it was double banking. So have a look there quickly. And then, of course, Bongi's try, which has been a lot of debate whether it was a try or not. And technically, apparently, it is a try. But that's what rugby does to you. It sort of flummoxes you in the ways that you don't expect. So, yeah. Anyway, the bottom line is the Boks came back. I thought they were starting to get on top physically as well. Two tries, the one turnover try with Caleb Clark and the other one, which was the intercept try for Bowden Barrett, or Geordie Barrett, was it? Yeah, Geordie Barrett. Those two tries really kept them above on the scoreboard. But I thought the Boks was always getting on top. And in our chat, Gavin and I, which will be a bit later in this, we say that as well. So yeah, I don't think the Boks have anything to fear. They've now picked a side this week. That obviously to face the All Blacks with a lot of experience. But let's start the week. The week started with Don Himman. He was up for with Elrich Lowe, and this is what they said.
Formations. No questions. Come on.
Hi, Don and Oricolo. How was have you had the full review? What have you taken away from the first test, Don? What's the general sense of the game now that you've had a chance to review it?
Yeah, we did the review, and obviously there's a lot of stuff that I think we actually can work on and can get better at. But obviously we realize, like I said this morning to someone else, the quality side. So obviously it's going to be tougher to have always great results in all the departments against the quality side.
Dan, how much did the fact that we didn't have specialist locks, maybe in the top 5 starting, affect the strategy? I'm saying, you know what I mean by specialist?
But you know what? We've got very versatile players here who can play a lot of positions, and I wouldn't say it weakened our scrum, but we realized that guys hasn't been as a combination together for, I think, Rohan and Peter Steph as a lock pair, and then we swapped Piri to another position, 5, and then he went to 7. So I think all that might have an influence on that, but it's decisions that we took, and I think they really delivered, even though they haven't been playing for a while together. So I think, yes, we realize there's a lot of locks injured and been injured and still injured. Hoping they get ready soon, eh? Do you hope so as well?
Coach, we've just heard that the Springboks won't announce their team until Thursday. That's maybe a bit unusual compared to years gone by. Is there a particular reason for that decision?
I don't think there's a particular reason. I just think, let me say it this way. I think Rassie will answer that one. Huh? Is that okay?
I don't. Just on that lock situation, just want to know where is Marvin Ori? Has he been in the system up for selection? Because I know he's a World Cup winner, he's 31 years old, quite experienced, knows your systems. So you guys have maybe considered him for selection?
Yeah. He's I think he's still playing for Perpignan.
That's good.
And they're in the top 14, which is a class competition. I must say I enjoyed playing in the top 14. It's a bit prisoner rules there, but it's tough. But anyway, it's a bit off the point. No, we're still thinking of him, and I think the guys that's in the country at the moment, although we brought in, I think, Nicolas Janssen van Rensburg in as well in the system, and he's been very performant for them. He's versatile as well. So obviously I think we're looking at versatility, but we're still tracking Marvin, and I know he's been very performant for us when he was playing for us every game in the World Cup also.
Don, you mentioned a couple of combinations that had played together. To what extent can you remedy that in terms of the scrum and method?
You know what, there's always an ideal situation where you want to have obviously probably the heaviest, the strongest, the most experienced guys, but they're not always available. We worked with what we had, and we're actually very happy with our performance in that, although we had a look at it at ourselves as well, especially coming scrum time. And we also realized that the All Black team is a powerful scrum, probably one of the most powerful scrums in the world rugby. But I think we handled ourselves well, and we had a proper look this morning at ourselves, and I think we can improve.
Don, how much will something like playing at Cape Town Stadium or DHL Stadium have in your selection for someone like Stephen Kitzel, someone Murat, because it's also their home ground, they sort of know the place. Would that factor into your selection thinking?
I think so, but I think we also had a look at the guys, and obviously Kitsy's been only now back for 2 games. His second game back, I had a proper look at his game we had yesterday. Had a good win yesterday, but I think we will definitely consider it. We're looking at all the options. All the guys in the squad is available, and obviously there's 1 or 2 guys with niggles, but it will have an influence on our selection. And obviously playing in front of his home crowd, he's from here, can be a thing that we think about.
Don, are you in a position to just give us an injury update with the obvious ones? Kirby and Sia came through that game. How's Sia doing in particular? Are there any other guys who you're worried about for the weekend?
I don't think so.
Is Sia fine? Is he available?
Yeah, so far I think they're still busy assessing his possibility of being available for us the week. We'll see how he goes through the week. But firstly, I think it's important for us as well. And if he's not, next man in.
So it wasn't as bad as the cameras suggested at the post-match.
I think it was actually a proper knock. But yes, yeah, I can't go into what the refs and the TMOs and what they saw. We've just seen what we've seen. But yeah, hopefully he can recover soon and getting better, and hopefully he can be fit to play the game.
Ulrich, from a player's point of view, what was the shift last Saturday against the All Blacks with 15 to go? Were the All Blacks just tired, or where do you think the Springboks got some control there?
Yeah, I think obviously we were prepared to play 80 minutes. I think we had good energy from the bench, and I don't think they were tired. I just think that we were prepared to play the whole 80, and things went our way, and we were able to get the win at the end.
Don, just on the official man of the match on the weekend was Peter Steptoe, obviously, but team effort and everything. But individually speaking, that performance was pretty big. I mean, you must be so used to it now, seeing it week in and week out. A guy can go from 7 to 5 to 4, whatever you need from him. Again, now this weekend, potential of more shuffling from maybe not to flank or something like that. I mean, how valuable is it having a guy like that who can just perform like that so consistently?
You know what the lucky thing about Peter Steptoe is? He played 4, 5, 7. Well, I reckon he just a prop. I'm not sure if he's really there yet, but we'll work on that. But I think it has a lot of value, and I don't think he cares whether he puts a jersey on, even on the bench. Doesn't matter. He just want to play, and I'm not sure if he still knows if he's Peter Steptoe or Peter de Toy, but he did very well for us, and hopefully he can be part of next week again, and hopefully that can, how can I say, overflows to the rest of the players as well. It's inspiring to watch a guy playing like that. Really, it's nice, and always a learner, always want to get better. I think for himself as well, this morning, sorry for being long, but even himself, he said, listen, there's certain areas where he can get better. So that's good to know.
Don, sorry, me again. I understand the words come back from World Rugby that there will be no red card threshold met with the Sam Cane on Khaleesi. Are you guys comfortable with that outcome?
Listen, it's up to them whether they decide. If it was a red card, supposed to be a red card, the yellow card, whatsoever. I don't think we will ever go into the refs' decisions and the IRB's decisions on that. So, I mean, it's part of the past. I think we're looking forward. We're looking forward to Saturday. It's not really relevant. It's part of the past.
Alex, this one's for you. On Saturday at Emirates Airline Park, we could handpick the New Zealand supporters. This weekend, however, in Cape Town, we do understand that they do have a big following when it comes to that. Is that something that, in terms of your preparation, that you also factor in when it comes to your preparation on the field, knowing that, certain elements of your game would be chanted against, if we can put it that way, that is a home test for yourselves?
Yeah, I think Cape Town is renowned for all of the All Black supporters, but obviously people's support means a lot to us when we're on the field, but I don't think we can really distinguish between who's shouting for us and who's shouting against us. So I don't think that will play a big factor in our motivation and our the way we perform on the field.
Hi Dan, hi Ulrich. Dan, just on, we saw the first test New Zealand played against Argentina where they lost, and then they came back heavily in the second test. Just how much are you guarding against that, and also do you feel the performance of the Bok team, you could still raise it after Saturday's test at Ellis Park?
Yeah, they had a massive comeback after the first set that they lost against Argentina. You can always expect that from a quality side like them. Like I said, they're a world-class side. And like 2 or 3 years ago, we can expect the same from them coming back this week again. Probably trying to do the same thing, but I think at the moment we actually concentrate on ourselves where we can get better. And I think we must never forget that. We must always try to get better on our sides. Yes, we must take that in consideration. We must think about the opposition. It is important, and we got a lot of respect for them. But I think we at this point where we can actually do only what we can do. We can't control their performance. We can control ours, and we must do that to the utmost.
Dan, after the game on Saturday, Rassie alluded to the fact that there might be new faces in the team this week. I know the team gets announced on Thursday, but is that also part of the evolution of the team to build depth and strength?
Yes, we have to, because obviously not looking further than 2027, but we're only looking at the next game. And we must pick a side, and we'll probably try to pick a side that can have a proper match against New Zealand. So yes, there might be a couple of changes. You know our group, so yeah, there might be changes. I can't tell you yet because the team's not been picked yet. So yeah, we're working on that, and obviously trying to pick the best side possible that we can.
I was probably not as deep, but just in terms of playing at Ellis Park and being, part of an All Blacks Test match, I guess, how did it feel firstly, and where does it rank in your career so far? I know we're just getting started, but how was it?
Yeah, no, I think it was definitely for me personally a massive dream come true to play the All Blacks and then for it to be at Ellis Park. So it was a massive day for me. I think that will be number one at this stage for all of my rugby highlights so far in my career. I don't think it gets much better than playing the All Blacks at Ellis Park and coming back from being behind to get the win.
Yeah. Were they everything you expected, or were there things that surprised you about the All Blacks?
I think we did our homework, and I think we knew what to expect, but obviously the quality side, they will always bring something different on the day, and we were caught out once or twice, but I think we expected most of the things that we got.
Sorry, Alex, just on you, can you just speak on your obviously Jasper Visa back also now after the suspension, obviously played on the weekend as well. Just your relationship with him, obviously his competition for you and how you guys are getting along, and is he making you a better player and vice versa?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think competition in a squad is always good and healthy, and I think that's what it is at this stage. I think we are building something special. 3 guys can slot into one position at any time, so that's very healthy and very good. I think me and Jasper have a good relationship. I enjoy him. I enjoy his company. I love the way that he plays. So yeah, there's nothing bad between the competition.
Ulrich, just talk us through your sidestep on Saturday. We're not used to seeing you stepping guys so much as going over them. Is that something that's coming out of the Tony Brown era, or is that something else?
Yeah, no, look, I think we're always trying to evolve our game. The people are shouting at me, why don't I pass? But I just told them one thing at a time. I can't step and then pass as well.
Dan, we know what the guy at Oxen doing. Can you just give us a bit of more insight into what makes Gerard Stevenkamp such a good prop for you?
I think Gerard just is a straightforward guy. He works hard, very coachable, and the primary work he does very well. And I mean, he's an ex-number 8 that's actually playing prop. So he can play with the ball as well, and he's quite skillful. So I think that is what we're trying to get, is
obviously, as Ulrich said, in every position, probably 3 or 4 guys that can play that and can play at this level. And I think he's really in a good space at the moment. He's playing very good for us. Although I think he can play better. He can be better.
Any further English questions, or do you want to switch to Afrikaans? Afrikaans? Steven?
Daar is nogal 'n bietjie amper is nie beter raak in die scrums, maar seker julle het nie die ouens verwoes nie, maar julle het seker steeds goed geskram. Maar dink jy dat die All Blacks in terme van scrumwerk is die grootste uitdaging wat julle sal aantref as 'n oppositie? So mens moet realistiese verwagtinge hê as mens teen die All Blacks sal scrum.
Ja, ek kan nie wag vir die eerste Afrikaanse vraag. Nee, ek wil nie, kyk, verseker hulle is 'n kwaliteitpak en een van die wêreld se beste pakke. En hulle het kwaliteit afrigters en ek dink dis hoekom hulle op 'n baie goeie plek is. As jy kyk in Argentinië het hulle blink 8 penalties geskram in die tweede wedstryd en hulle was regtig waar dominerend in daai faset. Ek sal nie sê hulle is die beste nie. Ek sal definitief sê hulle is een van die beste. Ek meen, jy kan nie vir hulle self, Ierland en natuurlik die Argentyne onderskat nie, maar hulle is definitief een van die bestes hoor.
En Ulrich, ons het nou net gepraat oor Pieter Steff. Tot watter mate is hy vir jou 'n inspirasie?
Yes, nee, ek dink, soos Coach Dan ook gesê het, die manier hoe hy homself hanteer en hoe hy dit aanvaar om enige posisie op die veld te speel en dit glad nie vir hom 'n opdraande stryd is om 'n 4 of 'n 5 of 'n 7 wat ook al dit op die dag mag wees te kan dra nie, is vir ons as jong spelers 'n groot voorbeeld om nie ons neuse op te trek om sekere werk vir die span te kan doen op die dag nie.
Ons weet ook julle is 'n nederige span, so julle sal nie praat oor al jy weet wat julle gaan verwag ensovoorts nie, maar wat sal dit beteken vir die span om 'n toetsreeks in die All Blacks te kan doen?
Ja, nee, ek dink natuurlik sal dit vir ons baie beteken. Ek dink ons sal hom die naweek maar vas wat hy kom, ek dink nie ons dink te ver vooruit nie.
Ek wil graag by jou weet, ek het die ingeding waar almal gepraat het, hierdie naweek was daar die Young Guns, wat natuurlik jouself insluit so goed soos ingepas het by die span. Daar was natuurlik baie druk om teen die All Blacks gespeel, baie van julle het nie super rugby gespeel nie, of was by die vorige wêreldbeker tot daai mate betrokke nie. Dink jy dit is 'n spankultuur wat help dat die druk bietjie minder is? Werk die coaches met julle daaroor? Is die span net ondersteunend? Hoekom dink jy het julle almal so maklik ingeslaat in so 'n groot game?
Ja, verseker is dit 'n ding van die kultuur. Ons is veilig in die stelsel wat geskep is op die stadium en ek dink enige iemand kan inslot en gemaklik voel met die plan en ek meen as die spelers om jou het wat ons op die stadium het, dan kan jy veilig voel en die afrigtingspan sit geen druk op ons om iets spesiaal te doen. As jy jou werk doen en jy het effort en jy werk hard, dan sal dit net goed gaan.
Dan is natuurlik seker lekker vir julle om te sien hoe daai variasies van die lynstaande af werk. Vir jou as die vaste afrigter sal jy verkies meer mauls om vorentoe te stoot, of wil julle hê daai variasies moet meer ook in die wedstrydplan kom?
Ek dink altyd, jy weet, skram is maar soos 'n mol, nee. Dis maar of jy gaan vorentoe of jy gaan nie vorentoe nie. As jy nie vorentoe gaan, gaan jy gewoonlik agtertoe. En ek dink op die einde van die dag, dis maar elke span het maar sy, sal ek sê, sy tricks om basies jou oppositie uit te vang. Maar dit is definitief goeders waar ons kan verbeter aan die variasies en om in die vorentoe te gaan. Ons konsentreer nie so kwaai op die agtertoe gaan.
Ja. Elrich, as jy 'n karaktertrek of 'n vaardigheid by Pieter Steff kan leer, wat sou dit wees?
Ek dink definitief iets waarna ek altyd opgekyk het en nog steeds opkyk, is sy werkverrigting op die veld en hoe hy net nooit ophou werk en ophou sy hart speel.
Ja, ouder, ek wil net by jou weer, het ons praat met Pieter Step na die oppositie, dat ons is Adisa weer, en man is Sam Kane wat baie ervaren is. Hoe geniet jy die uitdaging om soos dit te speel?
Nee, dis baie lekker om jouself teen die bestes te meet. Ek dink altyd van daai name is groot ervare spelers. Hulle was al reg oor die wêreld, het al oral gespeel, het al in wêreldbekers gespeel. So vir my is dit 'n groot uitdaging om te sien hoe ek kan vorder teen groot name soos dit.
Dan Steven Kitson moet door die naweek gespeel. Dink jy dat 2 wedstryde na die besering wat hy gehad het, sal hy fiks genoeg wees as hy gekies word om Saterdag uit te dra?
Ja, ek dink almal wat in die groep is fiks genoeg om te kan speel en kan toets rugby speel. So ek sê ons met ons maar altyd in ons eie standaarde en hoe dit gaan in ons oefeninge en waar is 'n ou en wat se plek is hy op hierdie stadium. So ek dink hy kan altyd 'n groot asset wees vir die span as hy kan beskikbaar wees en as hy 100% reg is en om by die level te speel.
Everybody happy? Further questions?
At the same time, the All Blacks were up with Jason Ryan, who took a lot of questions about the defeat and the fact that the All Blacks let this one get away.
Yes, track along pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, so he'll be available for selection?
He should be, yes.
Yeah, what have you made just in the last sort of 48 hours since the result was pretty good test match?
Yeah, it was a big test, a lot of physicality as expected, big contest, the collision side of it, the set piece side, tackles made at a big intensity, a lot bigger than we've had throughout the whole year so far. So yeah, looking to build on that, but the boys have recovered really well.
Just have to touch on the refereeing and the controversy around that. What's happened from your guys' side since the match?
What specific part are you talking about?
The try that was allowed that on review appeared to be a knock-on.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it, to be honest. We've moved on.
Okay. And any update on the Sam Kane contacted Sia Khaleesi?
Well, nothing that I've heard. The comments came through live in the game that I was glancing, so yeah.
So no follow-up from
no, nothing. No, I haven't heard anything on that.
Jason, South African Rugby's apologised for his time on the haka. I guess your reaction to that apology around the noise and the sound going early?
Yeah, look, we accept it if the apologies come through. Yeah, look, in all honesty, you sometimes get a bit of chaos around that, but you know the South African players themselves, you know, they stood there and respected it as they always do. It's probably the officials the ones that need the upcut, so if they've made the apology, that's fine.
Jason, from your perspective as Ford's coach, in the last 20 minutes, it seems to be a drop off just in intensity or point scoring. What do you think the key is to rectifying that?
Yeah, I think it's a fair question. I think we haven't finished particularly that game as well as we could have. We was talked about in our review, and we've got some younger men starting their Test career as well. So we're honest around the reality of where we're at with that part of it. But by no means are we sugarcoating it and overlooking it. We are acknowledging it, and we'll look to improve it definitely.
So it's more a selection thing maybe than a tactical thing in that last 20 minutes?
I think it could be a little bit of both, to be fair. You've got guys coming on that have played a handful of tests, and she's some atmosphere, especially the Ellis Park against the best team in the world. So, but we're also pretty confident that we're making some progress in our game where we need to be as well. So there's always something to work on.
Jason, you spoke about intensity. We've seen the Springboks sort of chop and change the team from week to week. Is there something the All Blacks are looking at to ensure that physicality is right?
Yeah, it's a balance between keeping consistency in your squad and your selections, but also being brave and giving guys an opportunity so they can actually live what this sort of intensity is like, because it's a lot, as I said before, it's a lot bigger contest mentally and physically. So yeah, we'll pick our team tomorrow, but it's a fine line, to be fair.
So no doubt, probably to be in Cape Town at the coast and just Cape Town in general, much loved by many people around the world.
Is it?
Especially Kiwis.
Yeah. No, well, look at it. I mean, Tabletop Mountain just out there. She wanted a bad view for breakfast. I'll give you the tip. But yeah, it is a nice spot. But we can't let that sort of distract us either. We've got a job to do and be focused on this Test match. We're always learning as an All Black team, so we've got to make sure that we're being accountable where we need to be in the areas where we need to be better.
Jason, you made the point in responding to this mate's question. You said which referee decision. Were you guys happy with the standard of officiating in Saturday's test?
Well, it was a big Test match for Andrew Brace, wasn't it? A very big Test match for him. So I'm sure he would have learned a lot as we did.
Jason, do you really intend to Springboks having made the team announcement Thursday instead of tonight?
I wasn't even aware. Sorry, when they named the team.
Oh, they're leaving on Thursday now.
Okay. Well, thanks for letting me know that.
Jason, you've obviously been in a position where you've lost a match in this rugby championship and came back. Do you draw any sort of confidence from that, that you can come back after that defeat at Ellis Park?
Yeah, look, I think so. I think that's, both Test match, every Test match is different, and this Test match, like I said, the collision side of it and the intensity and the physicality was right up there, but the encouraging thing is we did show signs where we can play some footy, and that's what we want to do. We want to play some footy, and all going well, we'll be able to do that again and keep our game going. But we're just looking to build consistency in our week and our game. Like, you can stand here and say we want to respond and all that, but we should respond to every Test match, So we're just challenging the group to be better as much as we can every day.
Jason, we're about to hear from Ethan as well. What have you made of his last few Test matches?
He's been great. He's been really good you talk about physicality and intensity. It's sort of one thing I know about Ethan is, the bigger the contest, probably the better he goes, So he's showed some good consistency in his game, and he's had some big shifts, and he's gone to the well in every test he's played, and he's given it everything he got, does his work during the week, and it's credit to him.
Jason, how much confidence does it give you that you guys scored 4 tries and also more tries? The fact that you were able to breach the box to fit that way.
Yeah, look, it does. Like they are. We see them the best in the world. They are, and they're big rocks, and gave us a bit of confidence. And the boys worked pretty hard at that plan last week, and knew what we wanted to do and how we wanted to go about it. So, yeah, I think we took a lot of positive thoughts from that and encouragement.
Jason, you guys got a pretty awesome welcome at the airport yesterday. How did that feel? See all those fans?
Yeah, it was good actually. I remember I know all the Super Rugby teams used to get welcomed here from New Zealand. There's a good network of fans here, so it was good. That meant a lot to the boys too. Actually, to see that many, it was probably a little bit surprising, a bit overwhelmed with how many were there. To be fair, but yeah, it's great for us, and looking forward to this weekend at the stadium. Only been Newlands myself, so looking forward to what that'll bring. Hopefully it's a bit dry than the Under-20s World Cup was.
Fair point. Is there much awareness in the playing group as to sort of why that is? Why there is so much support here for this?
I'm not actually sure, no. Maybe the coastline or the mountains.
Jason, just in terms of the scrum battle, were you happy with you? I guys think it was quite a titanic side, particularly in Tamariti and France and America.
Yeah, I think so. They had a good go at it, and I think there's a similar mindset between both packs. They want a scrummage. There's not a lot of games going on, and both teams want to crack at it. Don, who I know really well, he prides himself in that area as I do. So I look forward to catching up with him after the game. But I think that too, they both teams scrummage pretty positively, to be fair.
See Khaleesi probably unlikely to play with that facial fracture this week. How much of a loss is that for South Africa?
Oh, I'm sure they'll be next man in as we are. If you lose one of those players, they'll trust their whole squad.
Jason, how much confidence does the team take in the fact that they've actually done very well in Cape Town? All Blacks have only lost once here since 1996.
Thanks for letting me know that. I was actually unaware of that stat, but Yeah, look, you know, we pride ourselves on some pretty good performances at Ellis Park too. So, look, I'm sure we'll build our week and look forward to the contest.
Cheers, guys. We might wrap things up there with Jace. Thanks.
Thanks.
We then had the rather unusual thing of Todd Blackadder coming out. Sorry, Ethan Blackadder, not Todd. Todd's the father, of course. Coming out to see the media, and that doesn't normally happen if a player doesn't play. So I can only think at that stage they thought he was going to play, and he was going to face the Boks this week. But later on, he was ruled out injured.
Maybe that test match on the weekend, the intensity, the performance as well.
Yeah, it was obviously a big occasion for the whole spectacle, and it was awesome. We were obviously just disappointed and gutted we couldn't finish the job, but equally we had a lot of fun out there and we're already excited for Saturday.
What are the key things that you look at this week to improve as you head to play at Cape Town?
Yeah, we're just sort of focusing on a few small margins and just about finishing the game. It was evident we couldn't quite close it out the way we wanted to, and that's what we're striving to do, finish the job.
What was your sense out there in that last 20 minutes? Were things just not clicking as they were for the previous hour, or decisions not going your way?
Yeah, I think just playing what's in front. We just needed to play what was in front and then keep playing footy, I think was the key.
What's the mood like after a test like that when the main talking points are like the refereeing and what happened during the haka? Like, do you guys talk about that?
We haven't mentioned any of that stuff. It's all on us and the performance, because ultimately refereeing, you can influence a referee, but you can't control their decisions, and that's how it always will be. And then obviously there's been talk about the pre-game haka stuff, but we don't mention it, it's all outside stuff.
South African Rugby have just apologised for what happened. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, obviously nice of them to apologise, but it's pretty hard to get the timings right for an airplane I'm picking, so stuff like that happens.
Did you notice it? Like, can you just run us through how it felt?
Yeah, personally I didn't notice it. No, we were all just looking up, eyeing up our opponents, and then I didn't see it or hear it, so just in the zone.
What do you think gave you guys the edge in that first hour, 27-17? Looked like the game was that tough for you guys. And do you need to do again this week?
Yeah, I think we started the game well, and then we let the Springboks come in at certain times, and whether it was through errors or discipline, they got back into the game and got down in our half. So I think for us, it's nullifying that, being squeaky clean to not let them play the way they want to.
Then in terms of that second half, what do you think happened when you sort of let South Africa come back?
Sorry, mate?
I'm saying in terms of that second half, late in that second half, when you sort of let South Africa come back, what do you think? Was there lapses of concentration, fatigue, or what?
Potentially bits of that, but we just sort of fell into the trap, and whether it was discipline or an error, that's how teams and that's how they got back into the game. So rugby's a simple game, and if you nullify that, the team can't come back.
Ethan, you guys got a really nice reception at the airport. Had a bunch of local fans. How'd that feel?
Yeah, real cool. Yeah, I've heard before I started playing footy, but heard that the support in Cape Town especially is huge, and it's pretty cool to see that 50, 100 supporters screaming and supporting us. It's awesome.
So you're looking forward to having quite a few of them in the stadium on Saturday?
It makes it feel like home, doesn't it? So we appreciate the support worldwide, and love it.
Have you played in Cape Town before?
I have, back in 2019 for the Crusaders, and the support was huge then, so I'm imagining it'll be bigger.
Ethan, have you spoken to your dad? I mean, he was a year older, and how much do you guys speak to each other?
I spoke to Dad a couple of days ago, and talk all the time, father-son, so we're pretty tight. So he's good, just chipping away in Japan with the big pre-season. So.
And any tips if he's not?
None this week, but it's early in the week. So could be one by Friday, Saturday, that is.
There was quite a build-up to this Ellis Park match. Is there any pressure? Is there more pressure now because of the result for this one?
I don't think so. I think we're actually probably more excited because we know we were close in that game. So the motivation's high to get it right for the second. So I don't think so.
Ethan, just in terms of altitude, Cape Town's a bit soft on the lungs than the high veld. Just did you feel the altitude back then at Ellis Park, and just what are the conversations in terms of Cape Town and how that possibly play a role?
Yeah, personally, I've never played at altitude, but yeah, you get the dry mouth, the dry nose, all that stuff. So I'm guessing that is the factor. So yeah, playing at sea level might be a difference, but yeah, it doesn't change anything.
We know the Springbok changes their team often, but Peter Secretary might be back at blindside this week. How do you anticipate that going up against him?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the team will be, but if I got the shot, yeah, it's always good to match yourself against a world-class player, isn't it? So yeah, would relish it.
Ethan, you spoke about you were here in 2019 with Crusaders and obviously the rival between Boks and All Blacks, but does not playing them as often as you guys did in Super Rugby in South Africa factor into when you come up against like the physical Peter Steffs of the world? Was it that hard draft that you had in Super Rugby and now you only really seeing it at test level?
Yeah, I think generally everyone misses the South African games and the tours. So yeah, I think it is a bit gutting that it hasn't continued, but when we do get the opportunities like this, which is rare, yeah, you're testing yourself against the world champs and a team that plays physical rugby. So yeah, gutting that it's not regular, but exciting that we can do it.
Would it be cool to do a full tour? Would that be something you'd be interested in doing, playing midweek games and like 4 tests or something?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, that'd be wicked, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Stay there longer.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be awesome.
With the lack of that rivalry continuing, does this then make this the anticipation for games like this and these two matches? Does it increase that anticipation?
I think so. Yeah, because like who knows when the next tour is? 2 years I'm picking, so you don't often get to play the Springboks, and yeah, it's such a cool place to play rugby in Africa, South Africa that is, and yeah, as an international player, this is where you want to be and the matches you want to be involved in, so very special.
Just Ethan, a follow-up on that question as well. What do you think will take to beat the Springboks this weekend? Like what areas do you need to touch up to get over the line this weekend?
I think the breakdown is going to be an important aspect, so if we take away their guys that can get over the ball, that will go a long way, and then just finishing what we start. Simple two things, but I think we'll go a long way.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
On Monday later on, we had this sudden announcement by the Springboks that they weren't going to name their team on Tuesday like they normally do. They normally give that sort of Tuesday. They got nothing to hide. They announce it internally on Monday, and then on Tuesday announce it to the rest of the world. The rest of the teams in this world are set with a Thursday announcement, and tend to like to do that. But suddenly Rassie decided to do it on a Thursday and not on a Tuesday, and that sort of ruffled some feathers. Was he playing mind games? And this was Rassie's answer when he eventually got there on Thursday.
They're always going to upset me that we thought about on a Tuesday is better for everybody, for us as a team, because we announce it 8 o'clock Mondays internally, and then if you announce it on Tuesday, we felt all the speculations is out of there, and people can write about personal profiles and why we pick teams and give you a little bit more of an angle, and we've got nothing to hide. The Ibram case, I really don't understand why people don't understand that. The guy was injured on Monday, he went for x-rays, they said it will probably be a 10-day, a week thing, and then he just trained on a Monday, and that's the only reason why we did change the team on a Tuesday. But yeah, let's for the specific team, Let's announce it on Thursday, then hopefully everybody's happy. And then next week we'll do our Tuesday thing again.
So Tuesday was a quiet day. We went off to the All Blacks training session. Got to see about 15 minutes of them on a waterlogged Athlone pitch, and they were quite enjoying themselves.
We could just step back and meet him. Careering into us.
So, I know that Rose
and 2 meters, 3 meters.
it can be more it's a bit more broadly. Otherwise,
Very relaxed.
I just get you to step back about a meeting. Sorry. Step back a bit, guys.
It was his other, the one that's coming along. It would be same timing as last week. The week Tuesday. Hey, good, how are you?
If you win the next two, then we go tiebreaker. 2-2. You've got to win the next two then.
So you mean like the background ones? Yeah. Oh, we'll wait.
They should have a good session.
that 10 o'clock thing Friday. Think about it. How is it? They, you know, as much as
Okay, no worries. I don't know when I'll see you again. Because maybe Thursday. I don't know. Snare says she's coming tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow? I just think she's landing tomorrow. Ah, okay, cool. Okay, yeah. Maybe Thursday, maybe not. It's great working with you. Yeah, you too. You should get that Samsung with that like 60 megapixel camera. then you.
Yeah, the zoom here is not great.
What is this, a wave? Yeah.
Cheers, man.
I gave my
No one will even tell you tell us. Yeah. That's pretty much it, guys.
Then came Wednesday, and we had the player interviews. Damon DeLenda is embargoed for Sunday. They normally give for the Sunday papers one player, so they could do a feature ahead of time. That one's going to come up on Sunday morning on this channel, so keep an eye out for that. But then Damien was up for that, and then we had Cheslin and Lucanio Am, and we all thought Lucanio was probably going to be starting because, again, they normally bring guys to the press conferences that are involved in the game, and we later found out he was going to be on the bench. But Cheslin and Lucanio had quite an interesting press conference, quite vibey, and a lot to see, so have a watch.
Beach, is that your mic off? Quickly. Okay, now say. Go. Mute. Okay, cool. Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to our Springbok media conference. We've got Lucanio M. And then does your ringtone say sorry?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay. And Cheslin Hobby. Guys, please, we do have quite a big contingent here today, so please raise your hands for questions. One at a time, so we can give as many people as possible a chance to ask questions, and then if there is time for a second one, we'll go back to you. And then Isikoza at the end will give you about 6 minutes or 5 minutes for that. If we don't finish it in that time, then we can just pop in another English question or two. Cool. Hands up for questions. Steve?
Jason, maybe start with you. Just maybe take us through that moment. Did you deliberately target Scott Barrett on Saturday, and how did it feel to bump off a rock?
No, definitely didn't target him. But yeah, just spur of the moment. Just try to do something. Actually, avoid getting tackled. But yeah, just went in as hard as I could, and yeah, it turned out well. Didn't get smashed, which was good.
You've done a similar thing against Springbok out. Was it a same case in dealing with Scott Barrett?
Sorry, can you
You did the same thing against Gregory Altry in Marseille in 2022.
No, the context is not the same. Yeah, it's a loose ball, and obviously, a lot of people think that I'm gonna try and step all the time, but you need to also try and vary your game every now and then. And yeah, it's just going in as hard as you can, as I said, and yeah, turned out well.
Jesse, just on the All Blacks, we've seen how they came back against the Pumas in that second test. Just what was the conversations like in the last couple of days since we got to Cape Town, and especially knowing that the type of support they will also get once you're in the stadium on Saturday.
Yeah, I think for us as well, we've been struggling in the past with having 2 consecutive games against teams. Obviously, Ireland early on the year, and then Australia, which we've done quite well. So, obviously, we try and improve and get that consistency whenever we do play teams twice. And it's just depends on the team and the players, how well we focused throughout the week. And yeah, we know South Africa, New Zealand, it's always a war out there, and this coming week is not going to be anything different. They're going to come out firing, and for us, we just need to make sure we prepare as well as we can and put ourselves in positions where we think they might try out different things. So yeah, I think it's just staying on task and just not to think too much about it. Because if we train well, we put in the hard work, then hopefully everything will play off this coming Saturday, hopefully. And then, yeah, as you said, we've had the trophy tour here after the World Cup. We have a great support base up in Cape Town and all over South Africa. So hopefully we've won over a lot of more supporters than them. And yeah, it keeps the game interesting at the end of the day as well.
Jason, just on your feelings on playing the All Blacks at your home ground, where you grew up, and just tell me as a fan previously, how you experienced games between the Springboks and All Blacks in Cape Town? You were not part of it.
Yeah, first and foremost, hopefully first get selected to play this weekend, which will obviously be a big honor and a privilege as always. And yeah, as I said, like Springbok South Africa, wherever it is, but to get that in South Africa where I'm from will definitely be amazing. But it's not about me. It's about the team and us doing well at this coming Saturday. So, yeah, first need to be selected to go out there. But yeah, always a massive rivalry between the two teams.
Ross?
Lucanio, since you got recalled, to the box squad during the World Cup last year, and then going into the season, you've played a bit of a different role than what you were used to. A bit more part of the backup brigade. You get your you play when you get your chance. How's that role been, sort of trying to get the guys ready? Instead of playing every week in, week out as you used to before your injury. And is it a little bit frustrating not to get as much game time, or are you happy to just fulfill whatever roles needed?
Yeah, I think in the squad, everyone plays a role, whether in the starting 15 or playing off the bench or in the squad. So I think the responsibility that we have, is serving the team, whether you're starting or not, and I'm really happy just to be part of the squad. It's not nice being out there whereas your heart is here. So. I'm really happy to be here, and yeah, I'm just serving the team.
A question for both guys. The story about the return of good old-fashioned rugby tours with the All Blacks coming over here in a couple of years' time. Now, in terms of your own careers, sportsmen like new challenges, how significant is that announcement to you and to your careers?
From 2026, they're looking at having it, but it hasn't officially been announced, like the old tours.
Like the old Super Rugby and that.
No, New Zealand, South Africa. So it would be like
Yeah, no, will obviously be massive to have it consistently. Obviously, with the Super Rugby and that being there, the tours for them to come in, and obviously from an international point of view, for them to come over here more often. Obviously, know a quite of the boys in the New Zealand team. They always love coming down to South Africa and playing the Springboks down here and also explore what the country has. But vice versa for us as well. It's always exciting for us to go to New Zealand and play them down there. Never easy, and same for them when they come here. It's a tough battle, but yeah, you never know what the future talks are, and yeah, if it does come to light, it will be special.
Is the depth, question for both, is the depth in leadership such that even as Sipholisi faces a little bit of a race against time to get to full health, this team can feel more calm, more confident in such a situation than they would have maybe when the two of you first became Springboks?
Yeah, I think losing a quality captain like Sia, wouldn't be the best ideal thing. But the squad depth that we've built over the last couple of seasons, has put us in a position where whoever gets selected, there's no doubt. We all back each other, and I think we really prep and train really well as a squad. It doesn't really worry us, as players. We just fulfill our roles, and I think it's quite a good problem to have. It must be tough for the coaches in terms of the selections, but yeah, I think as a squad we really are in a good place.
Jason, what did the Springboks learn about the All Blacks that they didn't know before the last practice?
No, we all know they're a team with a lot of skill set all around the field. In the past, it's all about that first and that fast start that they come out with, and they catch you off guard at times, and that was the drive for us, is to make sure that we start off fast as well, so we don't get caught out. And they caught us out in Ellis Park a few times, and there was a stage during the game where we just didn't have that consistency or continuity, but we still managed to hang in there and put it through towards the end. So yeah, it's all about that first 20 and that physical start that will lay the foundation for how that test match will go.
Stephen?
The All Blacks were quite clever in the last game in terms of dealing with the rush defence, almost like delaying passes and so on. Have you guys spoken a little bit about that, and just what you can do almost as a counter for that kind of?
Yeah, I think We know New Zealand side are a skillful side, from 1 to 15. Um, and, at times, us as defenders needs to be also smarter when we're not on structured D. I think at times we are being challenged when you don't have the right personnel, in the defense lines, and we will just have to make better decisions, when it comes to that. But on the flip side, I think our D has been really amazing, the season over the years, and has given us a lot of turnover opportunities and putting teams under pressure. So we'll stick to what we're good at, and hopefully we'll just make better decisions.
Tanya, just how comforting is it for the players to see something like when Peter Steps lost from 7 to 4, then to 5, Jesse goes from 13 to wing. You guys still manage to pull things off. Doesn't matter the shifts in the back line or front. How satisfying and pleasing is that for the players that you can do that?
It's really a good thing that we have in the squad, and I think what we have is really special as a group, and it shows, what we've been building, and how much clarity each player has in his role, and making moves or shifting position during games. It's not as stressful. Everyone is clear on their roles. Everyone knows what or where he might cover, and it's just a easier slot for everyone. So it's really a good strength of ours, that we kind of like versatile.
Jason, how important for the team's sort of belief was that comeback over the past weekend, especially for this group sort of that came together in 2018. I don't think they've ever had a comeback like that against the All Blacks in the final 12 minutes, to pull off a 4-point win from a 10-point deficit. Obviously, you guys have beaten them in close games where the scores kept the same throughout. So was this a bit of a, has it given you guys an extra level now and an extra bit of belief that, you can pull that kind of thing off now?
Yeah, no, definitely. As you said in the past, we weren't able to come back 10 points behind and finish a game off with a win. But it just shows you the character of this group, and the belief of each and every player, and just the willingness not to give up, which is always there. And that motivates us. That's why we go out on that field, and we don't want to have any regrets, basically. And I think, we got a group that's can cover various positions, that can create things out of nothing. And for us, it's just to make sure that we do the basic things well, and we just execute the game plan we train throughout the week. So, having that definitely does bring a lot of confidence within the group. We obviously trained quite hard during the week, and showcased that last week in the last 20 minutes, but we just need to grow on top of that even further. Yeah.
Justin?
Jason, this one for you. A lot was spoken about post-match in Johannesburg about an 80-minute performance, and it was important for you guys to be able to have that, knowing that the All Blacks could come back or they could just stay in their lead. How do you guys go about preparing for that? Is it a case of physically simulating that you come to practice, or is it just making sure that in sections of your training that you ensure that you are able to perform for that full 80 minutes? Because I notice also, it's just yourself and Peter Stepp and maybe Jesse that are close to the 240 minutes of playing 3-4 games. The rest of the guys are getting a bit of a break in between that 80-minute performance and that preparation. Kind of what goes into that?
I think what helps us is coaches puts us in scenarios throughout the week whenever we either a man down or we 10 or 15 points behind what the plan is from there. And I think from a leader's point of view, everybody has a specific role they need to play. And if there's specific points they want to get across, they'll get it across to the team. And for us, it's just to go out and do that, what was said and what is necessary. I do believe we are way fitter than what we were, and yeah, Coach Rassie, the management team, they know exactly what they're doing when they're bringing on the bench, and for us, it's just to adapt and just keep that continuity during the game. But yeah, we've definitely grown in that regard.
Cheslin, you mentioned at the beginning of the press conference that you hope with your performances that you've won over fans. Is your feeling that with all the years that you spent here in Cape Town, it is the case here? There is a different atmosphere around the Springboks in this part of the country.
No, we definitely have a lot of supporters. As I said earlier, just coming from the trophy to seeing all the people out there and supporting the team is unbelievable. And the only thing we can do is continue to win, and hopefully we'll gain more supporters and respect within the team. And that's the only way forward, to be honest. Yes, the All Blacks has a good support base in Cape Town as well, but for us, that's a challenge as well. And as I said, whoever's playing this weekend is going to be a good one to see. But I'm sure there'll be a majority of Springbok supporters in the stadium.
Cheslin, at the time of the last All Black test here against the Springboks in 2017, you were about to leave the Stormers. There were doubts about your size and your viability for elite playing professional rugby. But in the past 6 years, last week included, you pretty much put all those doubts to rest. But just talk us through how that emotional and physical journey has been for you as a human being and as a player.
Yeah, it was tough at that time. Obviously, not being one of the biggest out there and getting those critics every weekend, whenever you play, whether it's at club level, it's tough, but it actually made me much more stronger mentally, and also wanting to work harder and just get an opportunity, whether that time at the Storm was just to play and showcase my talent that I've been blessed with. But yeah, to be honest, to get to your point, like for me, it's not about what happened in the past. It's all about the present, and what I can contribute to the team, and wherever I am. To be honest, I just want to go out, play rugby, and enjoy myself, because that's why I'm here today. And also just to the coaches that's been backing me, a massive thank you to them.
Lucanio, squad depth has obviously been something that's been quite strongly emphasised this year, and through that, a lot of youngsters have got their opportunities. Just for you, as one of the more experienced players in the squad, what does it feel like seeing Apelele Fassi or Sasha come in and take their opportunities like they have done?
Yeah, it's been really amazing. I think also having the balance of experienced older guys with the youth that's full of excitement and energy. It's really good for the squad, and it just shows the amount of talent that we have here in South Africa, and it's really nice to see youngsters getting given the opportunity to display their talents. So yeah, no, it's really beautiful to watch.
Jason, we always see you on the field. It's almost like as soon as you have the ball, there's somebody on you. But it's a compliment to what a dangerous player you are. Is it difficult to deal with that kind of thing? It's almost like try and come up with something new, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, obviously teams analyze you when they come up with a plan to close down your space, but for you as an individual, you need to also improve your game each and every time you get the opportunity to play. And for me, Yeah, I'm a guy that try and visualize things during training throughout the week, and when game time comes, and I find myself in certain positions that's almost that I've seen the picture before. But yeah, you just need to make sure that you keep learning, you keep developing your game, and you need to bring something different to the team every time.
The New Zealand Rugby Union, they're holding firm on their thing not to allow players to go play overseas and be available from New Zealand, which is something that we scrapped quite a few years ago. And some of the guys have gone on short-term things overseas, like Bode and Geordie's going to Leinster, sorry. And, you've done that yourself. The Sharks allowed you to go to Japan for short-term. Is that difficult for players? Is it easier when you're in a long-term contract, or is that quite tough on guys just going over for a short spell and coming back? From your experience.
From my experience, I had an amazing experience. Just a change of scenery, getting to learn different ways of rugby style, different coaching staff, and I think it worked to my advantage. Going on that short-term contract in Japan and coming back to South Africa, and bringing what I learned that side, and trying to implementing it in my game and growing myself. And I think it's a nice thing to have. Especially for guys that enjoy and love playing South Africa or at home. But yeah, someone else might beg to differ. But for my experience, it was really amazing.
Justin, English, and then can we switch?
This one for you. We saw what the All Blacks were able to achieve after losing to Argentina and coming back a lot stronger in that second test, obviously. They're kind of in the same boat this time around. Is that certain level of extra intensity that you guys are expecting and preparing for?
Definitely, yeah. You can never write off New Zealand. They're a quality side. And, we know this game will be even more tougher. And as Ches said earlier, playing, back-to-back teams, it's actually even more harder because, you give your pictures, they know what's coming. So it will definitely be more intense. But we still, do back our prep that we've done this week. We've trained really hard, and we'll just go out there and just accept the challenge.
Is it good, Tosa? How you see Afrikaans? You comfortable?
Sal probeer.
Okay, Tosa?
Aphabonakala khona nje kunomahluko ningocabakhe manje lothuka njani xa sebona into azenzayo imali into le ayenzayo thina singakwazi uyenza kodwa iphinde ke ibe negalelo elikhulu ke eqaleni nakempumelelo yenu.
Ngumfana onesiphiwo kakhulu. Kodwa-ke kwamathuba amaninzi sawuthi ibhola yombhoxo kumele ukwazi ukwenza into ezininzi. Awunothembela ngento enye emdlalweni wakho. Funeka ukwazi uadjasta, funeka ukwazi uadaptha, funeka ukwazi ukhawuleza ufunda. And ndingathi into esinayo, I think umqeqeshi uhlobo akhetha ngalo abadlali bakhe, ukhetha abadlali abakwazi udlala indima ezininzi nezohlukeneyo. So uba nabadlali abanjalo benza izinto lula etimini, and sinetha igalelo lakhe ngumntu uyalibona, and yes, siyavuya ukwazi uba nabadlali abanjalo.
Okanye ukujonga kwimidlalo mithathu edlulileyo nelicala linye nakule epheleyo, nangona beningekho kumgangatho enaziwa ngalo but ukwazile ukuphumelela. Niya kule veki ngekapa uvile kuthethwa nabaxhasi babo abaninzi basekapa. Yintoni elihluke ngayo le nikwaziyo even though niphantsi niyakwazi ukubaleka ngaphezulu? Yintoni elihluke ngayo?
Ndingathi kukufunda kwiminyaka edlulileyo nozama ukukhulisa umdlalo wethu maxesha onke. And sentsho uba ngelinye ixesha uyakwazi uplana izinto zingenzeki ngolu hlobo ubunqwena zenzeke ngalo, kodwa ke still sizithembile siyitim, sikhulile siyitim, and iinjongo zethu azithezeki mandla ngenxa yescoreboard. Sihlala sibhiliva kule nto siyifunayo and sijonge eyona nto ibalulekileyo ngokwalo mzuzu, and then sizama uqoshelisa yona, sijonge elandelayo ebalulekileyo ngalo mzuzu, sizama uyiqoshelisa. And I think into esenza sibe yitim eqinileyo ngoba sithembene, and yinto kudala sizama uyikha lena, and ndicinga uba side safika kwelo nqanaba uba sibe yitim enjalo. So sawuzama uyigcina apho nakwiigame ezilandelayo. Siyazi zikhona iigame ezingazuba lula, mhlawumbi singazuqala kakuhle, kodwa ke ngohlobo esidlala ngalo sikwindawo ezithembileyo and siyakwazi uleqa iskor, siyakwazi uvala igame.
Mhlawumbi ukongeza, I think umbuzo sokubuziwe lo mhlawumbi ungawuphethe ngesiXhosa. Kunjani kubona abadlali basakhasayo beqela bafana noSasha oFassie, kunjani udlala nabo, utreyina nabo nje?
No, kuhle kakhulu ubona abadlali abasebatsha banikwa ithuba, and I think nathi siyitim sizama ukwenza izinto lula for umntu wonke, noba ngumntu omtsha okanye ngumntu osenamava. And ithuba abalinikwayo ndizawuthi masibulele abaqeqeshi ngokwazi ukwenyula italente esentsha, nobaniki amathuba aba bakwazi udlala. Sendithi usebenzisana ke nee-youngsters nabantu abadala yinto ekwakudala sizama uyakha apha etimini.
Chess, there's been a request for you to try Afrikaans. Are you up for it or not?
Invited jy op Springbok Rachel Stadium teen All Blacks kan speel. Dis van die Kaap af. Weet jou persoonlike gevoel en van die spanne hoe dit
Ja nee, eerstens soos ek gesê het, as ek in die groep is vir hierdie naweek sal dit regtig ongelooflik wees, en ek is seker vir elke speler wat in die 23 gaan wees, gaan dit 'n goeie ervaring wees. Ek dink laaste toets was 2017, so is 'n lang tyd terug, so dit sal baie lekker wees om deel te wees van die span wat die tweede toets teen New Zealand kan speel, en ja, dit gaan 'n groter een wees as laas naweek, so ja, sal maar tyd vas dat in die groep ook is.
Dankie Brakies.
Can you show last question?
Ubunjani performance yakhe yale viki? Sewulawuthi mabenakho nerekhodi yakhe sibone ku-49 ukuba bekwazi ukuzilolonga kule veki. Benjani manje, benjani ngokonwaba kule veki?
Uluphi landa yokuqala?
Lenzela ukugcina kule
Okay. No, umkhokheli wethu no besiyazi uba uzawukha ajonge uba isimo sakhe sindawoni, kodwa ke ngohlobo ebenibona ngalo, uzamile ubaleka nathi. Sonke sizawuthi sisebenze kakuhle, sitreyine kakuhle ukwenzela amalungiselelo xa ale game, and I think kuzawuthatha isigqibo namhlanje okanye ekuseni ngomso phambi amagama aphume, uba uzawukwazi na umelana nomdlalo, ngoba i-training singathi ayifani nezinga lomdlalo. So sawulindela ke kugqirha nomqeqeshi xa ekhupha amagama ngomso.
Awesome. Thanks, Chess. Thanks, Lucky. Thank you.
Thursday came and it was a 7 a.m. start at the Vineyard Hotel for the All Blacks. So we had Scott Robertson answering some questions, some very strange questions from one or two local reporters, but let's leave that there. But obviously naming a very interesting team, a couple of injuries. Couldn't name exactly the team he wanted to, but it's certainly a team that's going to test the Springboks. And this was Scott Robertson.
We had plenty of supporters outside the hotel. they love a selfie and a autograph, and you know they know the players just as well as they do at home. Look, I know there's a lot of passionate supporters here, so we're looking forward to playing in front of them.
Just what's your stance on overseas-based players playing for the All Blacks? Overseas-based players. That's what you're more in. Your stance on that?
I think the CEO covered that off pretty clearly the other day, didn't he, with his answer. They're the current laws and rules, so that's what they are.
Right, so back to the team selection stuff.
Yeah.
Martin TJ and Bowen come back to the bench.
Yeah.
No one wants to start, but how are they receptive, obviously, to the idea of going back to the bench and acknowledging a little bit that the bomb squad, they do bring experience.
It's a tough conversation. Both of them work. They're a great team. They've been around for a long period of time. They know your big Jeezy is so important to all of us, and that if they need to come on and finish a job, they will. You've got to be really respectful in those conversations and talk through the reasons why, but they understood and they want to start, as you said, they want to start, they want to be out there for the majority of the match, but it's just how we finish the match is the key.
So this lad, we haven't seen much of him as a scrum half.
Oh, he's quick, he's got a great pass, he's intuitive, gets himself into some great support roles. He does all the basics really well. He's a great competitor.
Do you consider a 6-2 bench split at all? We know the Boks, they like it, and sometimes they even go 7-1.
Yeah, we were thinking 8-0.
Yeah, but just
didn't last that long, so.
Just in terms of the challenge of the Boks, what do you think you guys need to do differently this time to get over the line?
Oh, look, obviously last week we gave our opportunities with 10 minutes to go and a little bit of discipline and just gave them too many opportunities inside our 22. It was fine margins, the whole game, and that's test footy. So we looked at all our efforts and then focused on areas we could be better, and one of them was obviously finishing matches.
We saw what happened last week with the game, but what are you hoping for from the officiating point of view?
Consistency. It's consistencies in calls.
There's a living made of the Springboks holding off their team announcement until maybe today. Obviously, normally name their team on Tuesday. Do you what do you think about that?
Expect everything. Expect everything from them. Good. It's fine. They know that the time they need to, and it's not Tuesday, it's Thursday, isn't it? Like everyone else. So. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Just on Ethan, he's obviously had a few injury setbacks through his career. How tough for him to have another one?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's minor, but man, he's in some hell of form. Going from the clips with him last night and acceleration to everything. He sort of doesn't pump the brakes too often or even any. Look, it was just a great that he got his body into test match level. And he can play consistently and have the impact on that match. So, not naming him has been pretty difficult because he deserves an opportunity. And he'll be back pretty quickly, and it's a good thing.
No Dalton in the team as well. He's recovered from his thumb injury.
Yeah, he came right. It was coming right this week, and it was a call between him and Luke, and we've got Luke.
How important is it to win the Freedom Cup, given that you held it for so long?
Oh, obviously it means a lot. Obviously it means a lot. We've discussed it, but performances look after trophies, so that's been our focus.
The All Blacks were known to be a dominant side, especially the last 20 minutes, especially in the McCall era. There have been reports saying that the All Blacks have lost their swag. I mean, what are your comments on that?
Who's your reports from, sorry?
From New Zealand journalists saying that the All Blacks have lost their swagger.
Okay. Well, obviously, we had a game on the weekend and we had an opportunity to win, so it's a small snapshot of it. We've got another opportunity this weekend.
And the last question.
What are you expecting out of the Springboks this weekend?
Generally passionate and physical like they are every other week, and got a hell of a depth to their squad. Except when they name their team, they'll have sort of clear indication how they're going to play, and look, with your world number one, you always turn up, so we expect everything from them. Obviously, they've got a creativity that they've got in their group as well, and another hell of a test match.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers, everyone. Thanks, mate.
Then two of the players that came out with Geordie Barrett, who's obviously done a lot of these interviews, and Wallace Satiti, who's the youngster. He's a big piece of meat, and he's really going to test it. But he's got quite a task to emulate Blackadder, who was exceptional in that first game and was everywhere. And this was their press conference.
Yeah, definitely excited. It's a big test, my first start as well. So I'm excited to see how I do and see how I challenge myself as well. So yeah.
You played the whole season at number 8 for the Chiefs. How much change is going to be on the blind side?
Yeah, well, I think it's definitely a big change, but we'll prepare well throughout the week, and I'll get my reps right, and it should be all good.
What kind of experience have you had at Blinds? I think played a couple of games at Harvard.
Yep, a couple of games at Harvard there. Probably my most recent experiences at Harvard. So yeah, like I said, it'll be a bit of a change, but get the reps in throughout the week and prepare well. So.
Earlier this year, I think you're playing Chiefs development. You're starting a test against the Springboks. It's been quite the rise. I mean, you pinch yourself, but you're starting a test like this in Cape Town.
Yeah, still a bit. Still feeling a bit overwhelmed, but just excited and keen to get into it. So.
What did you notice last week about the game, and what do you think you can add to the All Blacks attack this week?
Yeah, I think the big one is being able to play for the full 80, being able to keep that level high right throughout the entire game, and like we all know, it's a physical game, so I'll be expecting that this week as well. So.
Geordie, what's the mood been like in camp this week as a senior player? What's the messaging you've been given to him?
Yeah, it's been consistent. We've prepped well as we did last week, so nothing too much changes there, but obviously there's a little bit of disappointment that's lingering from last week, and we want to right a few wrongs. So it's been a good week so far, but there's still a little bit to go, and it's another big challenge against a very good side. It's been quite a bit of overhaul in this team, but more than we're kind of used to with the All Blacks. How does that feel from your point of view? I think it's normal for a year after a World Cup phase. We've been through one of them before, and certainly not making any excuses in that space. We had plenty of time to prep, and this week has been very good as well. But we're facing a very good opposition as well, so we need to learn fast, adapt, and hopefully do everything we can to get a win on Saturday.
Wallace, obviously I watched you in the Super Rugby, but for the broader media, just tell us who you are and what could we expect from you this coming weekend?
Yep, name was Wallace, played for the Chiefs in Super Rugby this year, played number 8 for the Chiefs, and hopefully a bit of physicality this week, and hopefully can bring that into the games.
Has Ethan Blackadder given you some tips on what to expect from Peter Steff and the boys?
Yeah, obviously he's very helpful. He's been very helpful for me in this entire sort of campaign, and obviously it's come with a bit of an unfortunate circumstance, but he's giving me a bit of tips, but we'll keep that to us. So, yeah.
And what has Razor told you? What does he want to see from your second?
Just that physicality, both on attack and defense, and just like I said, I'll try and bring that on the weekend. So.
Geordie, the Boks should, whilst Rassie did mention that there will be a few changes in their team, but what are you expecting from them here in Cape Town Stadium? They haven't won the Freedom Cup in over a decade. I mean, what are you expecting from them this coming weekend?
Yeah, probably nothing different to what they've put out in the last 6, 7, 8 years. They've been ultra consistent. Their form doesn't really waver from week to week. And sometimes their selection does, so they've got a lot of depth in their squad, and we're not aware of the team that's been named yet, but we may expect the same team, or we could expect a lot of changes. It's kind of been what Rassie's about, but look, whoever he puts out there seems to do a job, so it's going to be a big challenge in Cape Town this weekend.
Geordie, are you going to miss your big bro in the starting lineup, and And what do you expect from him from the bench also, because that's where the box sort of made the difference last week?
Yeah, I think we didn't finish the game well last week, and we haven't for a few weeks. So hopefully we can close the game out in the last quarter if we get the opportunity to this week. So yeah, it's been a big focus for us.
And just Bowden off the bench.
Sorry?
Bowden batted off the bench.
What's the question, sorry?
What do you hope to see from him in that last quarter?
Oh, nothing too dissimilar from what he normally does each week. So he'll be wanting to make a difference.
Geordie, obviously there's changes to the bench, but it can't all be about the bench in the last 20 minutes. What are you sort of seeing out there? Is the heads dropping or fatigue, or because it's been 3 weeks in a row now around some of those sort of changes in the last 20 minutes?
Yeah, I think we just need to keep applying pressure when it matters in those deciding sort of minutes of the game, and can't let teams off the hook. A little bit of that has been us, and we've tried to focus on those areas throughout the past few weeks, and I feel like we're getting there, we're learning, so hopefully we see some improvement on the weekend.
Jordy, just your thoughts on Peter Steph du Toit as a player. We know what happened last year in the final. Well, he targeted you, tackled you many times. He made 28 tackles. Just your thoughts. I mean, last week he played in 3 different positions.
Yeah, exceptional player. Player I have a lot of respect for, and he's so versatile, so durable, and covers a lot of the ground. And it's inevitable if I'm playing at 12, we're going to be running into that channel, and Peter Steph will be there. So I enjoy it. It's a great challenge, and you want to test yourself against the best.
Jordy, having Cortez at 9 and Will at 15, we expecting from those two, it's pretty exciting back line.
Yeah, expect a lot of energy. The tests are difficult, particularly in South Africa. So yeah, hopefully they can just go out there and just do their basics well, and they've got a lot of backing from other players and obviously the coaches too. So it's a great challenge for them, and we'll see how they feel.
Jordy, just in terms of, it's the first match at the DHL Stadium between these two teams, but the Boks haven't beaten the All Blacks since 2005 in Cape Town. Are these types of stats anything you guys talk about during the week?
Certainly not. Inconvenient facts won't have any relevance in the way we prepare this week.
Do you expect a different match to the Ellispark game? Obviously that was at altitude, faster pitch perhaps. Whereas Cape Town a bit similar to Wellington and heavier field, heavier weather conditions?
Yeah, I think the pitch in Wellington's actually pretty fast. And I haven't been to a Cape Town stadium, so I don't know what to expect in their space. Like you said, other All Blacks here haven't played in that stadium too, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Wallace, what was your initial reaction?
Then it was across town to see Rassie, and with him was Kane Moody, and Rassie was in good spirits. He was in fine form, and maybe a bit hurt by what happened the previous week, where a lot of people took his comments wrong. So he was, you could see he wanted to prove a point, but he was really good, in good form, answered a lot of questions. It was great to see as well, and I think we all got a lot out of that press conference as well.
As always, keeping us guessing.
Nothing weird. Gaan we Steven. Thanks. Cheers. Everyone.
Twee position switches.
Ja. Ja, kies maar oké.
Morning guys, welcome to our Springbok squad announcement. We've got head coach Rassie Erasmus and Kane Moody. Please guys, as usual, we've got 30 minutes. We need to give as many people a chance to ask questions, so raise your hands for questions, one question at a time, and then the last 10 minutes or so we'll do Afrikaans. Great.
Morning Rassie, morning Kane. There's a lot to unpack, Rassie, but let's start with the 5-3. What's the thinking behind that this week?
Yeah, I think sometimes there's games where you want to grow our team, and sometimes there's games where you desperately want to win. I think trying to win this game would mean a lot in the rugby championships for the last 2 rounds. And, not to say you want your best players on the field, you want your best players in the group possibly. And I think a guy like Salman Murat is very unlucky not to be in this team. So to unpack it, the 2 loose forwards on the bench, Peter Steff covers lock fire, so we can probably put on the 2 loose forwards some way. We will probably give you almost a 6-2 split momentum, if I say so, because Peter Steff is just a guy who can play 80 and 80 and 80. And we'll probably somewhere have to give him a rest. And then, obviously Kirtley is out. We don't forget the guys like Kanan, what they've done for us before. Mapimpi's got his wife's giving birth, and we don't want to keep him away from that. So that's why Kanan is in here, and we all know if you've not been long in the setup, then it takes a bit to get used to, but Kanan knows as well. He, as a 19-year-old boy, come onto the pitch against Australia away and had a magnificent game and is really playing well since. I think he's over all his injuries. And we feel it's a game where we definitely will have to match their speed in which they played last week, and we think having 3 backs on the bench will help in that regard.
Nathan?
I asked Coach Dick last week, does it put pressure on you to announce the team on Tuesday, especially with that situation with Eben? Then Don this week said we should ask you, reasoning behind having that selection on Thursday.
Yeah, the thing is, we don't always want to upset the media. We thought by announcing it on a Tuesday is better for everybody, for us as a team, because we announce it 8 o'clock Mondays internally. And then if you announce it on Tuesday, we felt all the speculations is out of there, and people can write about personal profiles and why we pick teams and give you a little bit more of an angle, and we've got nothing to hide. The Eben case, I really don't understand why people don't understand that. The guy was injured on Monday, he went for x-rays. They said it will probably be a 10-day-a-week thing, and then he just trained on a Monday, and that's the only reason why we did change the team on a Tuesday. Let's for the specific team, let's announce it on Thursday. Then hopefully everybody's happy, and then next week we'll do our Tuesday thing again.
Rassie, just maybe on Sia, and on Saturday it looked like he had a fractured cheek. What exactly is his situation?
Yeah, you had 2 options. Again, I don't want to sound like a medical doctor, because I am not. He has 2 options. The one is it has to be reset. It's a nose fracture in here. I don't want to name bones and stuff. Maybe I pronounce it wrong. But you can either get it placed back now, then he's out for 3 weeks, or the doc says he can wait 2 weeks and then put it back in place. And obviously, the bigness, the massive thing about this game, not just for the rugby championship, for us playing the All Blacks here at the Cape Town Stadium is a big one, and everybody wants to play there. I must say, I saw a few sad faces when we announced the team on Monday. I think Marku must be desperately disappointed, not because he would have played in Sia's place, because we didn't go for 6-2, but the guys that handled it really well. I mean, Kobus, Mani, all the guys, Salman. If we win 6-2, Salman would have been in the mix. Even with 5-3, we thought of a lock and a loose forward. But you have the luxury of Peter Steff. And you see, I see Salman playing a lot of test matches for South Africa still. And I see him as a great captain. He's really somebody that brings something to the party. It's a calmness about him. It's a precision thing about him. It's a really great work ethic. So we've got a few guys that's unlucky. And just to answer, I know I answered the question in a long turn. But Sia he himself wanted the option to play now and get it reset in 2 weeks' time.
Steven?
Rassie, can you maybe expand a little bit, please, on the halfbacks and fullback?
Yeah, again, we don't want to, Stephen, forget about guys like Jaden, what he's done for us. Kobus had great runs for us. He played in the World Cup semi-final. Him and Mani, I think, was the starting off-pack pairing there, or 9 and 10 there. And then in the final, we went just with who? With what's his name? Faf and Andre, and we only had one guy on the bench. So. And we think Grant deserves a start. Every time when he comes up, he definitely brings speed to the game. But so did us Kobus. And the temptation was there again to start Jaden. And have Mani to have that, that blitz speed when the guys are a little bit tired. But after thinking, we had a long discussion. After thinking about it, let's see how deep into the game he can keep on delivering that before we bring Jaden on.
Rassie, just how tough has it been on Mani the last few months? I mean, considering this is a guy who went to the World Cup as your starting number 10, and now seems very much out of that pecking order.
Yeah.
How's he been the last few months? Do you still see him playing Test match rugby in the future, and the relationship with Sasha, and how you see that unfolding with the Stormers? Sorry, quite a big question.
Yeah. Look, what they do at the Stormers is it's almost, I wouldn't say irrelevant. It's we will never tell a franchise coach where to play a guy. It's his salary, it's his income, it's their livelihood, it's their supporters base, it's their franchise that must make money and win. So we totally understand when they make decisions. It's even more interesting, when Damian Willems is fit. It's going to be Sasha, Damian Willems, and Mani. And that's 3 great playmakers that you have in your team. So he's disappointed, but I think 3 years ago or 2 years ago, you would have been much more disappointed and you would have shown it. But he's not showing it, but he's competitive. All the guys are competitive. But we've got the theory that if we want to go to 2027, we must have a squad of 50. It will prolong a senior player's career. Definitely, if you play him a third match or a second test match, and then give a guy 40 minutes, and then so it's not arrogant at all. But if we want guys to go to the next World Cup who's in their 32s, then they can't play the next 4 test matches. The next 3 years of all the test matches, just for us to win, and then they buggered at the World Cup. So Mani's there. Mani's probably one of the fittest guys, with the guys that extras on Wednesday. He's very positive, but it must be hurting a bit.
Moving.
Rassie, hope you well. Just the selection of Willie, Fassie. I know you said you speak about unlucky guys. Fassie's another unlucky guy.
Yeah, Fassie was brilliant, and I think we asked him specifically to do well in the game, and the other things just do what you do naturally. I mean, I think his defense was rock solid. I think his kicking game was good. I think his high ball game was good. Again, we've got a guy that's on 97 caps, playing with Andre. And I think there's 19 or 18 guys that was at the World Cup in this group. So I don't think we've been unfair on other guys, giving them exposure. And so we will keep on doing, and it's nice to do it while you're winning. The moment you do it while you're losing, it almost looks like a knee-jerk reaction or a not planned thing. So we've got a little bit of a plan how we want to run the next 3 years, and Fassie is definitely part of that plan.
Rassie, the All Blacks have made a few changes for Saturday. What have you made of their team, and how do you think they might play as a result of those changes?
Look, Sevu and Talia, these guys, I think the first try Sevu scored against us with that cross kick in New Zealand. It's the first guy that I see that stepped Cheslin and after a cross kick from Richie, and he's just very dangerous. And Talia is the guy, physical, dangerous, legs are pumping all the time. Some picks and go from the middle of a ruck, So Jerry worked hard on not to stop individuals, but for the guys to know individuals. Because if you think you're just going to tackle them, normal tackle, they'll get away. And then the loose forward, I thought Caleb Clark anyway was fantastic, but he's injured, I think. And then what's his name? Todd's son, Ethan, yeah, I know Todd well. Ethan, he is unfortunately injured, so yeah, they had to make a change there. So I think we made 5 changes and they made 5 changes.
Justin?
And this one for you. Just speaking about an opportunity to once again wear the Springbok jersey. You've endured a tough journey with regards to injury and that mental toughness to have to work really hard to overcome that and be back here. Then just talk us through that thing.
Yeah, it's been a tough couple of weeks, months with the injury I had, but yeah, once you're not here, you know how special it is to be here, so you're very desperate to get back into it. So yeah, I think the mental toughness of it, just want to be back here again, so just pushing and doing all you can, playing Currie Cup, try to get match fit and all that. So yeah, doing everything I can to be back here, and this weekend I have an opportunity again. So yeah, very grateful for the opportunity and to show what I can do again.
Coach, just on the All Blacks again, what did you learn about them last week that you didn't know?
Yeah, I think what the world knows about them, it's just, look, it's a magnificent team, and maybe I used the wrong words in a post-match conference because it might have sounded a bit, but I think they were very unlucky, and they obviously are not. We're not on a high there after the loss to Argentina, but then the next game they thrashed them. And to come over here is like us for daunting going over to Australia. For them coming here, for us going to New Zealand is daunting, at Auckland or any of the stadiums there. And at 73 minutes, we were almost down and out. I remember us playing a test match there where we were 38-29, 15 points up at minute 75. And then they still scored 3 tries, not just 2, 3 tries. And I think our guys has learned a little bit from that the moment you think you have them, you don't have them. They've got a lot to offer, not just strategically with their scrums are great, their mauls are great. They certainly matched us at the set phases very well. I thought the breakdown was a tight contest. The kicking game on both sides, I think they had 30 kicks and we 27 kicks. Caleb was good in the air and they were accurate with the kicking game. And then they've got these individual guys who from nothing does something, So it's a very difficult team to coach against, to play against, and their greatness will always be around them just because they've got really special players and coaches.
Rassie, I know that these days you probably, when a guy's not in the team, it doesn't mean he's dropped. That's your policy. I'm just interested in, because obviously Ben Jason's not there this week, and I think he's going back to Province for this weekend. Just how do you think he's tracking? I mean, how did he get? He was quite hard on himself after last week.
Yeah, he shouldn't be, and I've told him. We had a chat about that. That's the thing about some test matches. New Zealand at Ellis Park is difficult. The hype, the crowd, you feel crowd pressure both ways. I'm talking about the Springboks. When you're going well, it feels like they carry you over that try line. When it's going not well, it's quiet. And, it gets to some players. But I think he's going to play a lot of test matches for South Africa. He's definitely in the mix. He's definitely the next 7 flanker that we think can do it. But again, we wanted to go for 5-3. And Ulrich really did well when he came on. He had a great impact. And Ben Jason will probably play next week again.
Rassie, Jason mentioned yesterday that he felt that past Springbok teams, maybe a few years ago, might not have come back from that deficit on Saturday. And that you do work behind the scenes with the players around, what is the plan from here when you are behind. Can you just expand a little bit on that? And have you yourself seen a mindset change in this team?
Yeah, and I think when he says that, he included us as a group, because we've been ahead, but we've always been a team. I mean, New Zealand there, it was 12-3 once, and we got back and beat them the first time, I think in 2019 or something. Now New Zealand here we've lost when we were 15 points up. So our thing to try and stay on task what we planned shouldn't be influenced by emotions. And I think that's a big thing that we work on. And we almost didn't get it right on Saturday. But and if you look at this profile of this team, I think New Zealand's average age was 29 and our average age was 30. So it's 2 experienced teams They had 48 test caps per player, and we had 43 last week. I think we pipped in this week with Willie that starts and Andre that starts. But yeah, it's certainly something. We've got a session on Friday, what we call the what if session. And that's when we do the jersey handover. We don't get like in the past celebrities in or people to come and hand over the jerseys. We last week it was Tony Brown. You know, for him to coach against the All Blacks is, and with all respect, is exciting and it's nerve-wracking. And when he hands over the jerseys there, you know, he would give nothing away. He told us so much about the haka, and it gives you a totally different respect for the haka. I'm talking about the players. He explained that it's an honor, and what they are doing, yeah, it's a challenge, but it's always, listen, we are doing the haka for you as well. And that not help you face the haka and enjoy it, it helps you to understand the haka and what it means to them. And then when you take off your tracksuit, there's a different mindset before when Tony hasn't coached us, because none of our coaches has ever known what the haka really means for New Zealanders. So, and it's not like it's secrets and he's giving out game plans of them, because it's just what it means and the emotional side and what we can take from that. So yeah, we discuss those things on Fridays when we hand over the jersey.
Rassie, one question for you, one question for Kevin. Firstly, just brief us how Sia went through training this week with the facial issue, and are there any misgivings over how he sustained the injury? And for you, Kaden, you play your rugby at the Bulls, but you're from this part of the world. Just talk us through how excited you are to play Cape Town Stadium, most probably in front of a lot of friends and family.
Yeah, you can go on that one. And again, when we pick teams, I'll answer your first question, sorry. When we pick teams, you know, you try to keep that in mind. And I'm thinking about Salman when I talk that. And I'm thinking about Mani when I say that. You know, it almost sometimes emotionally throws you to one side, but you must unemotionally pick a team and see what is the best team for this specific game of what you want to achieve. And again, you know, Edwell is still injured. We could have moved Fassi to the wing probably, but and he will manage. But Kaden was from here, exactly what you're saying. And I think that does make it special. When I played in Bloemfontein for the Cheetahs in Bloemfontein, although it's not the biggest city, but it was a much better, not much better, it was a very warm, emotionally game for you personally. So yeah, Kaden, you can say it, then I'll also answer the CL one afterwards.
Yeah, it's very special. I tried to keep it on the low for the week, but now the team's out, so probably going to get some message for tickets. Yeah, so, but no, very special. I mean, yeah, growing up in Cape Town, you know, these are the games you thinking about when you're growing up, you know, running in the street, you know, thinking you're facing the All Blacks. So yeah, this is just a very, very special opportunity to play this weekend. And yeah, what a better place than Cape Town to do it.
Sia's injury was obviously when Sam hit him. I will never forget, sorry, I'm giving long answers, but I'll try to keep it serious. He broke his neck against us at Ellis Park in that big win. And I went and visited him on the Monday morning because New Zealand flew back. And I know I've had a jaw break twice in Sydney. I know how lonely it gets in a foreign country alone there, and you don't know how the medical aid work, how good the doctors are, and those kind of things. I went to visit him on a Monday. So we know each other a little bit closer than the normal All Blacks, and I had a coffee and stuff with him there in the bed, and you could see the guy was going through a tough time because a neck injury is probably something that can stop your whole career, or, you know, you can get, what is verlam, what is it you call that? Paralyzed, you're going to get paralyzed, you know. So he was obviously going through some emotional stuff there. And to be honest with you, I don't think he did any of that on purpose. I think a yellow card might have been appropriate, or penalty would have been appropriate. But he came afterwards and I said to him, listen, we're not going to cite. We're not going to cite you on that because you have 12 hours to cite. And if the citing commissioner obviously pick it up and he thinks it meets a red card threshold, they call it, then they investigate it. But they went through everything, and that specific one didn't come up as a breaking the red card threshold. So and he came and apologized. And when you look at the action, yes, all of us can go a little bit lower, but I don't think he went for Sia's head with his head, because it was actually not the shoulder, actually the head hitting him on the nose. So no, sometimes it goes for you and sometimes it goes against him. That poor guy was red carded in the World Cup final. Wouldn't have been nice to get red carded again.
And how did Sia get to training?
Oh, Sia's, the question was to Sia on Sunday, after they did all the scans. So Sia, will you be half-hearted going into contact? You know, because your nose is sore and it's swelled up and the cheekbone is blown out. And he said, no, well, let's go. Sia now. So that's why we didn't even want to mention it on Tuesday morning, because Sia had to get through Monday. Internally, we announced the team with him starting / Marco. But then on Monday evening, he did all the contact sessions. Tuesday, he went right through. And today on Thursday, I can tell you, he didn't show any. The only problem would have been if he's hesitant. It can't break further. It has to be put back in place. Yeah, might look like Kwacha.
Craig, you can go.
Rassie, to Gavin's point, your selections are often decided. You have a very good idea what the team's going to look like weeks in advance. But last week the attack didn't quite fire. Sort of in first phase play. The tries all came sort of from balls and so on. Is Billy's inclusion a reaction to that, or was that always part of it?
I think Billy's calm head in a big test match here. Andre's calm head in a big test match here. Look, Sasha, what Sasha can do is, Sasha reminds me a lot of Carlos Spencer, like Mani does. He's a very reliable goal kicker, Sasha. Andre is a very reliable goal kicker. And if our attack is not working, we must remember who we're playing against. You know, it's been working very good up until, I think we New Zealand are now on the same amount of tries in the tournament so far. I'm talking under correction if Z can look it up there. So defense also makes it tough, you know, for Barrett and Ione and those guys who play there. They also know probably a lot about Tony Brown and the way he sees the game. And like they scored 4 tries. You know, one was, what's his name, Damien, giving it to them. With Barrett reading it really well after we did the same move 3 times in a row. The Maul try was technically there's Jasper, who hasn't been part of us for a while. I thought he had a really good game. And the other tries were all organized New Zealand tries, you know, from turnovers are really difficult to defend against. So, but we worked really hard on that, and I think Jerry is on top of that. Not to say they won't come here and score 4 tries, then we'll just have to score 5.
Rassie, can you talk about how the players are adapting to the new style of rugby that Tony's bringing to the back line, and the merits of having Caden on the wing with his height and the high ball?
Yeah, I said it a few times, I'll say it again. Caleb is not playing. But Sivu is, and what's his name is pretty solid under the high ball, and then when they get the ball, they make they cause damage. Felix Jones he laid the foundation there. Felix got in you must be able to pass 100 passes before gym. In the morning you wake up, and I think he gave a baseline product, if I can put it that way, to Tony to just work on mindset and running lines and how to keep your feet a little bit, how to get the pass away a little bit quicker. And I think there were 3 or 4 tries. I think Fashi just played on the inside, you know. I think the ball curtly kicked through after Sasha's cross kick when he grabbed it. He could have just dived over and scored it there. Cheslin had one on the other side. It could have been easily 1 or 2 or 3 tries more for us, but also for them. So I think it's good to do 2 good defenses that test the attack. So we seldom score 3 tries against the All Blacks, you know. So that's also not too bad. But as he calls it, he's got a nice way. When Felix was here and Terry was here, you catch on to the Irish slang or the Irish twang or what you want to call it. And the way he puts it, is I want to call bullshit that we can't do this. And then he shows us, and then we trust him. And that's, as he put it, he's growing our attack. He wants to grow it, and I think the players really, really enjoy it.
Last two English questions, Adnan and John.
Rassie, how much do we know about Wallace Satiti and the scum of Letterman? Just Tony maybe giving you a bit of insight on him.
Yeah, we've got Perry, Perry and Lindsay, who's our analyst. Their jobs is to build profiles on every single player of the opposition. My job is to follow them on Twitter to see what they show, what they don't show, and then the players do their homework. I'm pretty sure if you ask him that question, he'll tell you exactly. So yes, I know. And I know it's such a big test match for New Zealand. If those are the players that Razor wanted to pick, he knows something about their character and what they can do. When you see a player, you just see his actions. You don't know how desperate he is, what's his big match temperament, or will he go into challenge in a game, or will he stay chest out making plans. So I'm not going to talk about the individual players here, but they're obviously class.
Rassie, sometimes it's hard to back up a good performance after a big win.
Yeah.
It's been a big talking point this week after what happened, even at the World Cup after you guys beat France. It was a little bit of a dip. Ireland series, you weren't at the same level the next week. That's going to be a big talking point.
Yeah, it is definitely, you're spot on. It's a fact. But again, you play Ireland, number 2 team in the world, and everybody says they must be number 1. You drew the series with a drop goal in the last minute. So if you missed it, was the guys up for the game? Yes, we were up for the game. We would have won it. So we tried to make the decisions non-emotional and go and break it down to departments and see how we go. But certainly my thinking and the coaches and the medical team and the SNC team is to, some guys when you get to a certain age you feel I am ready for this test match, this next test match, but we all lose hair and we all get grey. Nobody gets faster as they get older, and sometimes that player tells himself I'm ready, and that's also one of the reasons why we mix up all the time, to try and see can we get over that hurdle of not backing it up, and that's one of the reasons why we made 5 changes, because we certainly stick with some players and they themselves really think they're up for the game, and then in the match, the first 5 minutes, they get a shock. And that's when you get older, I think that's part of the reason. And we've explained it to the players and said, listen, we want to see this now. It's going to be very tough to beat New Zealand in Cape Town. There's no altitude here. They enjoy it here. They really like to come here, but we love it. And we like to come here, and we play here many times, and I've played here. So yes, I think we will be up for the game and not catch out sleeping.
Afrikaans? Steven en dan TJ?
Rassie, ek dink as ek reg onthou as ek teruggaan na Nelspruit toe, jy weet, Jaden hoogskop, as ek reg onthou, ek het Kane dalk teruggewen en Kurtley gedruk, maar hoe ongeag hoe belangrik is Kane in daai opsig vir jou in terme van sy vermoë onder die hoofbal en wat dit vir jou gaan gee, want ons weet hoe belangrik skoppe is.
Ja, jy is reg.
En dan wil ek net by Kane ook neem jy baie gemak uit wat jy voorheen vermag het in die ongeluk.
Ja, so ek dink as jy kyk na Mapimpi, toe ek Mapimpi die eerste keer gesien het in 2013 naby grens met Tekkies rugby game speel. Toe kan hy 'n bal vang wat dan om toe gepaas is, maar die oom sy hande was regtig swak geweest. Maar jessie, ou deur almal, ek dink sien die grens was onder administrasie van Saru in daai jaar geweest toe ek en Jacques afgegaan het en help coach daar. En wat al die coaches, die EPD-programme, hy is 12 klaar 27 gewees, maar wat daar klomp ouens saamgewerk rondom sy handling skills. En is amazing wat Mapimpi nou in die lig gaan doen. Hy is regtig goed. Season gaan hoor is baie ouens wat baie langer as hy is. Kyk kan die crossbar raak van die as die stokke met hulle werk. En ek wil vir stokke vir Stieks ook hom net komplimenteer, weet. Baie mense dink die off the ball coach is nie 'n groot rol nie, maar van ons hom aangestel het is ouens wat van die bal af is en hy doen al die kicking game, die exits en afskoppe is al Stieks se werk. En dan natuurlik die hoobel afvang en beheer en hoe ons chase en daai klas van dinge. Keinen is definitief een van die bestes daarin, maar Kurtley is goed. Selfs dingetjie wat sy naam Edwell, when he was with us, he went and I don't want to say Honey, Koen on. He's very solid under the high ball, so we're blessed with outside backs that's really good under the high ball.
Ja, was baie gelukkig geweest om 'n deel van die span te wees wat in Twickenham gespeel het. So ja, ek het hom 'n game teen die All Blacks en wat 'n spesialie en dit was so ek vat baie confidence uit daai game uit om dieselfde pictures wat ek in daai game gesien het om voor te berei vir die en so ja, baie spesiaal geweest om deel van dit te wees. So dink dit lê die fondasie vir die naweek vir my, so ja.
Rassie, net op die spankeuse nou in Afrikaans, natuurlik bou jy diepte, span die goed is voor die tyd beplan, jy weet julle werk met 'n groot groep, maar baie mense sal dalk wel verbaas wees as hulle sien 'n span wen die All Blacks met 'n paar punte en dan staan heel wat veranderinge. Net as jy kan praat oor deel agter Willie Leroux en Ambelele Fassie en dan ook Sasha en Andrei op 10 natuurlik.
Ja, natuurlik is die veranderinge moeilik om te maak. Een van die manne het gevra momentum na 2 games en kan jy dit opback? Ons dink een van die groot dinge is vir jy ons span se ouderdom profiel kyk. Dan om 'n paar veranderinge te maak, bring bietjie worriedness in die spanning. And calmness and we've got this going out the window because those 5 new guys wants to, they want to be, and the guys unconsciously beaten the team the previous week. They get lifted by these guys getting a chance again or getting a first cap. A first cap or a guy like Andre with 70 caps or Willie with 96 or 7 caps. Those guys come in again and they didn't play last week, so there's a lot of fire in the team. So hopefully that helps to prolong it. No, praat ek Engels. That help om hulle careers weer langer te maak en dalk langer by Springbok te bly en dit bring weer 4 onder die ouens in wat dalk bietjie net oorgerus raak. Nie dat ek dink hulle doen dit doelbewus nie. Dit sak my af in jou brein en jy dink nee, ek is so right, maar daai ouens is nou vars, jy weet. Ons wil speel Saterdag teen All Blacks. Hierdie is weer 'n kans vir ons. Dan bring hulle bietjie daai vuur in. En dis maar hoekom die changes gemaak is, jy weet. Vir een rede en dan vir 'n ander rede, daai ander manne dit was nog 2 Argentinië toetse hoor. En Fassie het nou 'n great game teen die All Blacks gehad. Buenos Aires toe. Nou moet hy manne weer daar tussen daai Willem gaan speel waar 'n hostile crowd en is anders, die travelling is anders. So ja, ons probeer almal 'n kans gee terwyl ons die span probeer laat wen. Ja, sorry, jy het nog 'n deel gehad.
Nee, dis reg.
Okay.
Ek dink net vir jou weer eens, die feit dat jy weer eens die sporttrek kan aantrek hierdie naweek, die geleentheid om teen die All Blacks te kan speel, hierso in die Kaap, sekerlik is dit 'n goeie gevoel vir jou en selfs jou familie hoor.
Ja, soos ek gesê het, spesiaal, ek weet, soos jy veral in die Kaap en ons gemeenskap is daar baie Nieu-Zeeland supporters, so ja, as 'n Springbok, is dit die game wat jy wil speel. Ek meen, as 'n klein seentjie het ek gehardloop en dan as jy oppositie uitgebeeld het, was dit die All Blacks, so ja, ek dink vir my is dit baie spesiaal. Ek meen, so dis die droom wat waar word, ja, as die Twickenham game gespeel ook, maar ja, die ene op by die huis, so ja, is baie spesiaal en ja, sien uit om weer uit te gaan na Saterdag en die ding te gaan doen.
Okay, last question, Katu.
Rassie, ek wil net vra net genoem Bloemfontein hoe lekker dit vir jou was en ek wil weet is nou Kynens se
provinsie, maar net Kaapstad as geheel, hoe is dit om hier te speel en hoe is die mense, hoe is die vibe, hoe is dit vir die Bokke om hier te kom speel en ook 'n stadion wat redelik nuut is in Suid-Afrika, at die BHA stadion?
Kyk, Ellis Park was wonderlik. As rarig. As ou wen op Ellis Park, dan is dit rarig lekker. As ou verloor op Ellis Park, is dit rarig sleg. Want die mense is so, daar's net so baie. Jy weet, jy kan hom net nie gesigte sien nie, jy hoor net mense die hele tyd. Hierso, ons bly in die Cullinan, is vir ons flippend lekker. Kaapstad is 'n lekker plek. Ek weet dit is vir oorseese span ook lekker, en ek het al 'n paar toetse hier op Nieuweland gespeel, en die typiese manne wat daar voor sit, die chips wat hulle gee, en as jy uithardloop, ek het altyd gechip oor my kuite, as ek uithardloop, hulle chip my seker nou oor my pens. So, daar's karakters hier, uit die Kaap verteenwoordig so mengelmoes van mense, wat die Bokke support, en selfs die All Black supporters, dit is vir my, is 'n lekker, is 'n vibe ding. En die mense is in 'n goeie, hulle stap die fan ook af so toe, obviously ons experience dit nou nie. Maar ons was al, ons die Cape Town Stadium gespeel, akelig gewees sonder kraats. Dat was terrible teen die Bristol Lions toe ons hier gespeel het, die feeling, die water carriers wat try in die vibe bring. En hy toets. So, nee, Kaapstad is soos baie stede in Suid-Afrika, het hulle iets spesiaal in hulle, en ek dink is die mense wat kom, en rarig hulle harte bring, en het geniet, en langs jou sit 'n All Black, en daar sit 'n ou Danny, en hier sit 'n jong lady, en is een van die grootste, wat mense toerisme aantreklikhede in die land met Tafelberg en al die dinge.
Fantasties. Thank you very much, guys. Dank je dat je kijkt. Lekker dag.
Then came Friday. We had a wonderful. I obviously don't go into what happened last, but first let me just say what happened Thursday. I went to a place over here in Cape Town called Cousins. Man, if you've ever seen on Instagram the pasta made in the cheese wheel, that's what happened. I'll put a quick video up of that here as well, so you can see how that was like. Man, that was an experience, and Cape Town certainly doesn't disappoint in that manner.
Hoi daai kaas. Lyk lekker.
I'm not always easy going. I'm also worried. I don't like things to go wrong. So when things do go wrong, I think you must bring the rest now.
Then lastly, it was back to the box again with the team photo in the morning. A lot going on there as well. The players in good, fine form. They were all laughing and joking. There's always done in good spirits. They really enjoy themselves, and they quite enjoyed doing the team photo.
Right shot. Sorry, guys. He's behind the pillar now, he's behind the pillar, it's fine.
Alright, confidence. Steady. Anak kira. Ini mana? Anak kira. Di pete. Excuse me, hold, sir. Excuse me. Alright. Okay. Whoa. Cut. Steady. Anak kira. Same place. Hold the other. 2 more. Keep going. You smiley ups. The cookie. I want steady. Thank you. Vote number 1.
What?
He's so blue. Right, see ya. Thank you so much. Cut. After that. One more. Steady. Thank you. Bottom 2. go. Anak terug. En Luki. Say, steady. For the other. Left face. Right. Move. Thank you. Left face. Start the answer. Anak tidak menjadi answer. Hey, Bobby. Smile for him. Smile for him. Smile for him. Bobby Allen, ini. Up. Ini. Steady. Home ini. Thank you very much.
2 seconds.
I can take a photo. 10:55.
Fridays are relatively busy days because it was straight after that to the captain's practice at DHL Stadium. Looking in fine form, as you can see here, we're going to have another fly past. It's going to be a bit of a kerfuffle regarding timing again, I suppose. But if the All Blacks don't take longer with their haka, it should be fine. It's a smaller plane. It's a Fly SAFF plane going over this time. And it's the first time it's been done in Cape Town, so it's going to be interesting. Apparently 50 meters off the roof, so they'll be fine. But this is the box. Yeah, so lumbering up. Captain's practices are traditionally a lot light-hearted, a lot more light-hearted. It's the end of the week. They also don't show us too much of their plans anyway, especially with cameras around. They're quite secretive about things like that. So you don't expect to get too much from a captain's practice. But yeah, this is what we found.
Can you final off with this Brendan, man?
Yo, can't wait.
How you doing? Hey, well.
Yeah, good. Enjoying myself.
Good day out. Sun's out.
It's a little bit of wind in here, isn't it?
Almost.
Right, so does it go either way or does it just sort of go around? Okay. What a genius he is.
Jobs that are different to us.
Also, I think the lack of transparency also to say how many tickets are there. Because people don't know.
When I checked yesterday when they announced it, so I went on the site. There was like a lot of tickets in a cluster, and then when I went back like an hour later, there were like two. So there was.
one sport, all one sport, all insurance, things like that.
Actually, a very good training.
Yes, no, load can be down before you see you very good.
I say it looks good.
So yeah, I'm going to take it.
Actually, the argument competitive battle, hard competitive battle, man.
No one would believe it. Wow. No one would believe it. You're the only guy who
I realize now paddle is a dangerous sport.
Hey!
I don't know if it's just the way that the season.
I met one of your mates in
Is it the wrong name? Otherwise Michael Frisch for a moment is already.
Isaac stole the Stormers captain's run game. Nothing's original.
I think everybody does this now.
No, man, it's only us.
guys, just over from who's on the
This is on the inside of the stadium. Thank you, guys. Change rooms are down there for the opposition team. There's a bunch of them. They use them for the sevens as well. And then down this side is where the Springbok team normally has the main team, the home team, Stormers as well. And this is a big foyer that the guys will line up here before the game. You can see all the post-match branding here that's going to go. So, but this is where they are. This is where they're running out. This is where the teams go out. Just thought I'd show you guys a bit behind the scenes. And then every Springbok week ends off with the captain's press conference, which was Ms. Wandile Stick and Sia Kodisi. They had a good time and they're really looking forward. Sia said really he wants to win the Freedom Cup. He wants it back. That's their next objective. And he was very keen to get involved and get stuck in. Of course, he's got a broken nose. The doctor said it can't get more broken. So it's really just a pain threshold at the moment that he has to get through. And these were his and Stick's comments ahead of the game.
No, they already know what's wrong, so there's no point of protecting it. Yeah.
Rassie said you might look up, end up looking like Poha.
No comment.
Just going back to 2 years ago, after the announcement case and ahead of the Ellis Park case, you had spoken about how you guys would not get carried away about what had happened. Is that the feeling at the moment? You're more wary of the All Blacks now, second time around?
Yeah, for sure. But we spoke about that experience, and you can never be too comfortable when you play against the All Blacks, And we know they're going to be a desperate team. You've seen after they've lost against us at Bombela Stadium, they've managed to bounce back. That's the quality of a New Zealand team. If you're not at your best on the day, they'll put you away. And also a lesson that we can also learn from Argentina earlier in the championship. Argentina won the first game, and then the second game it was 40 points. So once again, they've got world-class players, and they're well coached side. So on a day, if you're not at your best, they will punish you. And also, more especially if you look at the changes they've got now in their team, and you look at that back three, you don't really want to give those guys some space and enough time to make decisions, because they will punish you. They're world-class players. So yes, we did learn from the past, and once again, you can never underestimate an All Blacks team. So, but once again, we've done everything in our power to make sure we're well prepared also for the game.
Sia, can you verbalize how much this means to you? Because obviously, as the doctor said, it's about how much pain you can take. Pain barrier is there. So obviously, this is huge for you. Can you verbalize it?
No, it's huge for the team. It's not huge for me just alone. It's huge for the whole team. We are in a place that we've never been before. As this group in the Rugby Championship, we've never been in this position before, where we've always gone to Australia or won here against Argentina and then go to Australia, lose against Argentina, and maybe get a win in New Zealand. So, and like the Freedom Cup, it's something that we only see it in pictures or when we walk past it. We've never been able to touch it, and it's big. And also coming back to Cape Town as well, playing here after so many years, and there's so much to play for. We can put ourselves in a very good position for the Rugby Championship. We can win the Freedom Cup, again. All the other stuff is, and it's not about me. If I wasn't okay, I wouldn't have played, wouldn't have changed anything for the group. I just really want to play the game. I wanted the opportunity, and the dog gave me the opportunity. But the whole week has been about the team, how much, it's what we've done to get here. And as Coach said last week, it's not being wary of the All Blacks. It's us also putting our front foot forward, because we didn't last week. We had to fight back to win the game. We can't do that this weekend. We have to make sure that we start the way the game they play. The players that they've picked for this weekend, they're clearly showing what they want to do. They want to run the ball, and what are we going to do? And that's what we're trying to focus on. What are we going to do as a team to make sure that we start far better than it was last week, and then we see how it looks after 60 minutes.
Peter?
See, how reassuring is it to, you had the youngsters, Apelele and Sasha running the attack the show last week, but now you can fall back on guys like Billy and Andre. Just how reassuring is that to the team going into this crunch match?
I think it's exactly. I think you all remember Coach Rassie was quite open when he first started with the first meeting we had. He said he wanted to win transformation and squad depth, and he said he can only do all the other two. You have to win first, and that's where we've been pushing this year. And he's open and honest with the team, and he speaks and he wants to give players opportunities to play, but it's the best way to do it now while you're winning. And the way that you can see Sasha and Rassie and them, they probably have like 4 or 5 games, but 3 of those games, one a game against the All Black, one game against Australia, and that's where you test it the most, and that's what we're trying to do. And it's so awesome that Sasha has been able to do that and run the team and control, and he's been the general. Fassi, he was in the group, he went away, and the coach was honest with him. He did everything that the coach asked him to do in the club level. Then he came here, he got his opportunity, and you saw what he did last week. And everybody knows Fassi is not Grob, but the coach is trying to make sure that everybody gets a fair opportunity. But we as a group are so proud, guys that have been here for long and guys that are coming in, to see that whoever is put in, that's what you want as a group. If somebody falls, that nobody panics, that it doesn't matter who's coming in, and that's why I always say our biggest competition, our biggest pressure is within amongst each other, not the opposition, because I know if I don't pitch up for 1 second, Marco van Staden will take his opportunity. But you won't see that when you see me and Marco. We're amazing people because we're good friends, because we know the team is the most important. But when I get my chance, I must take it with both. And when he gets his chance and he's playing, then I become Adi Savia against him every single training, because I want him to be special. So that's what we're trying to build as a group. And we are fortunate that the players that have been selected, we just respond the way that we do, because we know me and what I want is not more important. The group is, because what I want, when I'm finished, I'll be gone. But at least I know I've given my best, and the next guy that's coming in is always going to be good and take it to the next level.
Ross?
See, last time you guys played here in Cape Town, it was Eden's 100th against Wales. It was an incredible atmosphere. Tomorrow, I'm sure there are going to be a lot more All Black supporters than there were Welsh at that time. But are you expecting a very similar type of crowd, amazing atmosphere and just a great occasion?
Yes, I am. I am expecting a great occasion, and we want obviously as many South African supporters as but we respect everybody that's coming to watch. We've seen people that flew in from New Zealand, and I think Coach Rassie explained it in one interview. We have to respect everybody. There's reasons behind everything, and it's nice that those stuff is explained to us. Why it is like that, and we respect that, and we just want to go there and play as best as we can for everybody, because people pay to come and see us, and we're not only playing, and we want to people, hopefully 1 or 2 people can turn after the game and support us again. But we have no bad feelings, especially after things have been explained by people who lived during the time when things were. So we do understand that, and there's no hard feelings, as long as when we play someone else, they support us.
And Coach, Sia speaks about the team not being in this position before. How important do you think it is to not get too carried away and to keep a cool, calm head and get the job done?
Sure. I think it's very important, and since the previous weeks you hear when we talk about we want to develop our game, we want to get better in how we do things. Remember, we've got a new personnel in our coaching staff, so there are certain things that as a team we always want to build in our game, and it's clear and open that you can see even on attack how we operating under Tony Brown. It's something that is totally different to what we normally used to in the past, and it's actually a nice challenge. And I know one thing for sure, coaching staff and the players, we're so excited with what the other coaches are bringing on the table in our system. So you can never relax, not when you play against the All Blacks. And I think the key thing from my side, like Sia touched on it, we've never been in a position like this in the past, where you've got a chance. You know how difficult it is to win the that Freedom Cup away from the All Blacks, because remember, you need to win 2 games to get it away from them, do you understand? So yes, we've been doing well against them, winning 1 game and then they win the 1 game and then they return that Freedom Cup. It's very special trophy, and if you look at where we are as a country, for example, 30 years of democracy, I think that trophy speaks volumes into what we stand for as a Springbok team currently. So yes, we spoke about it, and just once again, I know we haven't played a lot of games against the All Blacks here in Cape Town. The last one was in 2017, and now if you look at a team and what we stand for, I think the timing of bringing the game back into Cape Town, like I said, once again, we respect people's opinion, but I know I've got friends that I grew up with, that also used to tell me more about the All Blacks, but I know some of them now, they're in our corner, do you understand? So that's the best we can do. We are given an opportunity to make a difference between the 4 lines as coaches and players, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. It's going to be a great vibe. It's going to be a great occasion. Once again, I think, Ross, you touched on the last game we played here against Wales. That was one of the special crowd vibe, in Cape Town. So I know one thing for sure. We're playing at home. I know our people will be behind us, and we'll do everything in our powers to make sure that we at least give them a taste of that Freedom Cup.
The All Blacks have made a change to their back row. Ethan Blackadder's injured and Wallace Satiti comes in. What do you know about Wallace and what do you expect from him this weekend?
He plays for the Chiefs, right? And obviously, Blackadder is proper. He's good. It reminds me of Peter Steph. He's everywhere in the field. He works really hard. I think with Satiti, I think it's also very young guy, and he's gonna get his opportunity. He's gonna throw himself in battle. He's gonna attack. But to have a guy like Sam Kane and Adi Savi, who else would you want to be playing? Your cap with, and I think they will be in his ear the whole week, encouraging him. So I have no doubt that we're gonna have a challenge in our hands, especially in the breakdown. It's gonna be it was a challenge last week, but I think this week will be even more.
Rob, have you asked him?
Just to see, from the outside looking in, it looks like something special is brewing with this group of Springboks. And, you've almost been likened to that All Blacks team that dominated for over a decade, where they're winning games that they're not supposed to be winning. Will this game tomorrow be a stepping stone towards that promised land?
Well, I don't know I don't know, for us it's been the same. We've been trying to reach the same things, but this is different for us. It's a challenge that we have for ourselves, and we spoke about before doing back-to-back big games. We couldn't do it again against Ireland. Now it's another opportunity, but obviously now there's so much on the line for both teams, and we really want to win the Freedom Cup. And there's so many things the first team to win in 4. All that matters, we just need to win. Nothing else matters. We're not thinking that's all. We just want to win the Freedom Cup.
Just yesterday you was spotted, you and Coach was spotted yesterday with the Springbok women's side. I know you and Nadine and Lewis were sort of together. Can you just tell us what you guys were doing exactly in the roles? I know it was a Springbok double header, obviously.
Yeah.
So just touch on that please as well.
No, we just, we went to go watch the ladies train. And I went earlier. I was in the meeting with them, had a chat with them because they support us a lot. They support us all the time, and a lot of them, we grew up in the same areas. One of them played in my club with me, and I know what it's like. Well, I don't know what it's like for them, but I've also struggled a little bit, and I know how the women's game is obviously developing. But it needs a little bit more of us as men to be there, supporting, talking about it, so that they can get to the level that we are in. But obviously, rugby is a tough sport to start playing. It needs a lot. You need a little bit of money. You need a little bit of boots, and we're playing in thorny fields and all that kind of stuff. You need grass, where soccer you can just play in the street, So went and we watched them train, and then I really love the way Nadine plays, and I have so much respect for her. And I don't think she's seen, there's a lot obviously, but I don't think that she's praised enough, because I saw what she did in the sevens, I was small. I mean, we swapped jerseys yesterday. The jersey is so small. I was told I told her he looks like a sample size. She says that I must give it to my daughter or my son. So we just we really wish we can do more with them because they're getting better and better each time. And to think of where they started, and that's what I was telling them. You know, the other teams might be way more developed than you, but you're not playing for yourselves anymore. They might not reach, like as we say, the promised land for them, but the next generation of women might reap the rewards of what they're doing. So they're already doing well, qualified for the Olympics, you know, and now they're gonna be playing in the W15, which I'm hopefully gonna bring my whole family to go watch them. I think, yeah, it is important that we celebrate them a bit more and then we talk about them a bit more so their game can also grow.
Justin?
See, sorry, just on that note, surely having them play on Saturday is a curtain raiser ahead of the Boks at the HL Stadium is a step in the right move.
100%.
Because we now have a sold-out stadium. Well, that's debatable, but a capacity big stadium that will have people there hopefully early enough at 1:30 to watch them. So the fact that we can have them play on the same day with you guys surely must be a step in the right.
No, 100%. We're so excited to hear that and to hear how happy they were about it. And it's important. And I know people love rugby, and I know people of South Africa will take any reason to Pride Airy, and that's an opportunity for everybody to go and watch and just go see and get to know them, because I know the South African competition is growing, and I think, yeah, I would really encourage people to go watch them, because at the end of the day, when they go play in the World Cup in the W15, they're representing all of us just like we are doing, and they need the same kind of backing, and I encourage people to go and watch them, and I'm sure it will be a good game against the Barbarians.
Steven?
Coach, you were in a front row seat, going back to that 2017 game. Remember, there was an extraordinary passage at the end of the first half, like 10 minutes end to end. And then also, just that one moment that you guys had where there was a little bit of ill discipline, I think, and they charged or something, and then it was 25-24, So, like, how important would discipline be? And then also boldness, in a way.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of good memories about that game because I wasn't involved in 2017, and probably I've watched that game with the double Branavin and Cokes. No, I wasn't. I was only involved in 2016. Then 2017, I went to the juniors. But yeah, like I said again, once if you're playing against the All Blacks, more especially the past couple of games we play against them, I think any team could have still win the games even at the last second. Last week, one step wrong against them, they would have probably put us away and score a winning try at the end because it was very close. And then all the games that we've been playing against them, I think a game that we've probably had clear dominance against them, it was the one at Twickenham. That was the game that we probably pulled away from them. But most of the games against them, it always goes to the last seconds of the game. And I know one thing for sure. With the team they've selected, chances are this goal might also go down there, which is exactly what people deserve, And it's going to be probably a packed, and I know the vibe in Cape Town people. That's one thing I enjoy about Cape Town crowd is that you can see people are here to have fun. Even if sometimes the games are tense, but people will keep on cheering at us. And that's something that picked us up also as a team, So, yeah, memories on 2017? I don't remember much.
Sorry, Chris.
No problem.
I see also on that score, a Bok win on Saturday would give you 6 wins out of the last 8. Some people may say that's a bit of a stranglehold as a player, maybe as a squad member. Does it feel that way?
I don't know. We don't look or talk too much about those. Just want the Freedom Cup. That's all that we're thinking about. I'll think about what you said another time, and I'll answer it next time. But we haven't really. Honestly, we haven't. That's why I can't answer it. We haven't spoken about it or thought about it. Our eyes on just this weekend. Then you can ask me all the questions.
Adnan and then Katru, and then if it goes all right.
Yeah, just to Coach Stick, Rassie spoke in the week about your work that you do, the off the ball stuff. and the guys on the field as well as high ball and so on. If you look at the All Black back three, and now, how do you see that battle going tomorrow?
Do you want water? Do you want water?
Like this whole week.
Yeah, Nandi, you know, like I said again, I think it's clear how they're going to approach the game. You know, if you look at who they've selected, you know, and if you look at the Lustria also, you're looking at the ball players, guys that are short and quick and moving around the park. That will they'll try to keep the ball in play. And with their back three, for example, if you look at a guy like Clark last week, he was probably one of the best players when it comes to finishing, and probably hurts a couple of our guys the way he runs, you know. But for them to make those big calls where they bring back a guy like Siburis and Talia at wing, you know, after a performance like that from the other guys that played last week, then it shows exactly the mindset they're looking for. I've heard them, they're talking about covering our kicking game, you know, and those guys, I know Siburis for sure. We coach against him many times. I've gone through his profiles, you know. When it comes to speed, you know, and turning and covering all the kicks behind their backs, is one of the best, you know. And once again, probably they will be desperate to get 5 points, and we know one thing for sure. That's why they've selected those players, because they try and keep the ball in play. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one. But once again, I think these are the moments we live for, you know. And once again, to stand in a chance to win that Freedom Cup, I think that is something that we've been talking about, you know. So we'll do everything in our powers, and hopefully we can also contain those guys at the back.
Sia, you mentioned, Coach, about how Cape Town's a favourite to play, some of the things of the crowd. But Sia, just yesterday, Rassie said Hero was playing at Newlands and he got chirped about his cater playing at Newlands. So just in terms of a Cape Town crowd and a Cape Town vibe, what are some of your, favourite and most unique things about playing in Cape Town?
It's too much. It's too much to say. I played there for 11 years. This is where I started my professional rugby career, and everything I know I've learned here, obviously, professional ball, and some of my good friends I've made here, my family, all started here. It's really a special place. You can't, like if you're a rugby player, wherever you go, people just excited to see you, and they're excited to help. Like the other day I went to, I think buildup, and I was offered some samosas, everything. It's that kind of community where if you go to a mall, or I said the other day, I don't know who I was talking to, if you are out when you're not supposed to be out, people will ask you, what do you need? And I like that, and people don't hold back. It's because people care, people care, and they pitch up. I remember people will fill up where you can't, at Newlands, where you can't sit down, where the standing ticket's packed, and that's how much they love rugby here. And they also don't hold back. Even like what they said to Rassie, I remember they telling behind the bench, the guys that sit there with the Stormers mask, telling Skara what's wrong with his body. I'll let him tell you what they said, And they chirp us, they tell us if we lose, how, I can't say the words, K-A-K-A, we are.
Don't say.
And then, but they show up every weekend. And when we're doing well, you're the best, they say, and then the next week is, they say what they say. So it's really, really, really special. It's a different culture, it's a different atmosphere, and I really loved every single moment, and I wouldn't change the way my rugby, grew up here. It's really special, and I know the people of Cape Town know that, and I think Saturday is not going to be any different, and I think if they could be closer to the field, they would have loved us. So they let us know how they feel about how we're playing at the time. So I'm looking forward to it either way.
Plastic, kuveki enje ngokubalula kakuhle ukuba libalekile ukuphumelela yimpumelelo nento efuneka lenzile bale kodwa xa ithile imbilini yakho ngalo mdlalo uba sukumhlaba singaqhelanga kuwe ke umkhokheli mani into yoba sophuke ke embhucweni ayonto nje kodwa uthe woceba lokuphuka embulo qomba ayonto qomba asuka ayibona phambili
Yeah, kakhulu ndichile uthe ucoach uthi ndimbimonse lonke ixesha so uthe akhona izotshintsha ngoba mzamnika nje i-character lewe no bendifuna udlala kakhulu siyende nathetha nomqeqeshi and umqeqeshi akafuni unika abantu ixesha elide undibuzile ufumene izizathu kugqirha ndamxelela ndathi ndifuna ukwenza yona isemendleni ukuze ndidlale wathi okay then ndajima ngomvulo ndajima ngolwesibini and ndizivile ukuthi ndi-right into ezawuba buhlungu into xa imbetha direct empumlweni and ayenzeki ixesha xa usemetshini awuvinto into ebuhlungu iba buhlungu but not that way so ndiyavuya ndifumene ithuba but ndiyayazi xa ufumana ithuba akho mntu uzokukhumbula if awuzinikelanga emdlalweni akho mntu uzokukhumbula uba hayi ibiyi-warrior no funeka still ndidlala umdlalo ndisenomsebenzi funeke ndimenzile
senayo ne-nickname entsha kuthiwa ngu-wrong
10-2 okwembini yakho bantu nomqeqeshi xa umdlalo umhlaba omtshamanela nebona ukuba indebe ehlabathi ibuzwa kuweni kodwa bekhe watsho naye malugxa yakho uba laa ndebe yempumelelo heyi nimane nibuka nje baphethelweni ayidifika baphambi kwenu
siva ngamabali asiyazi noyazange sayibamba bathina kubalekile wena Khanyiso xa ujonga laa trophy ithetha into apha eMzantsi Afrika yabona maybe yes New Zealand xa iphumelela yona bavuyela nje bahlambi bawina itrophy kuthi ithetha into kakhulu la trophy ye-Freedom Cup and zange siyifumane opportunity nasike siyiphakamise and xa sojonga kule ndawo sikuyo as a country now and what we stand for as a team singamabhokobhoko I think ibalekile ba noko abalandeli bethu sibaphe la taste la Freedom Cup so yona nto isimotivator kakhulu abaphakathi evekini and nalanto ukukhumbule ba sagqibela udlala beCape Town ne-All Blacks ngo-2017 and the reasons was uyayazi ba uRassie beyicacisile because of following ye-All Blacks apha eCape Town ibininzi kakhulu and bakhona abaguqukileyo data babuyele ekhaya yeyona nto thina siphilela yona loo nto sithi make sure uba ezi reasons zabo babenazo ukuze bawele baye kwelaa cala sinoko ngoku I think bayawubona utshintsho olenzekayo apha etimini yethu and uyayibona uba itim ebhilonga kubantu bonke eyona nto ndiyithandayo nabo kusiyale ndathetha ngayo uba bakhona abadlali abanintsi basuka beCape Town apha kule tim yethu uyabona so I know personally xa sowudlalela kokwenu it's very special entliziyweni yakho so for abafana abasuka beCape Town le nto siyaxela ngayo uba ii-opportunities ezintle bazifumana mhlawumbi kweli cala kwi-Western Province ndamkhumbula esafika eStellenbosch esemncinci so kubalekile nathi sithi make sure uba siyabadlalela abalandeli bethu and we will do everything in our powers Khanyiso to make sure uba noko abalandeli bethu siyabavuyisa beCape Town
Stellenbosch
siya njengozibili nayo ubuziwe ngesilungu uqale apha yonke into yakho yenzeke apha ithi ukuthini ukufeyisa elicela apha kuwe nakwitimu imibuzo yesibili uthi ingqondo uqhelile ukuqwapha uqhelile xa ungenzi kakuhle okwenzeka ekamva lakho kulaa klabhu yakho yabaphesheya ayiphazamisi kule match nekulezi veki nidlala umbeka
ndokhala lo speed no andi-right ndilapho mna zenzeka izinto kwabantu abaninzi ingqondo yam ilapha inkulu kakhulu kule nto endenzayo and yeyona nto ibalulekileyo kudlala amabhokobhoko and ii-decisions endizenzayo ebomini endizithathayo kufuna ukuthi make sure uba ndisendaweni erayithi endikwazi udlala kuyo udlala amabhokobhoko so ingqondo yam ilapha like zininzi into ezifuneka zizenzile apha andikwazi ucinga ngaphandle and le match inkulu iwesi apha eKapa and siyayazi apha eKapa baninzi abantu abasapota eli qembu sidlala against lona and siyayazi i-history yayo uba isuka phi and thina sisi-players siya-understand and into esithandayo icoach bethu bayayithetha nathi bathi nazi ii-reasons why kutheni beyisapota eli qembu so siyavuya kakhulu but siyayazi i-vibe yalapha ibantle kakhulu xa sidlalayo and even if nibasapota thina okanye basapota bona akho nto erongo emvakeni ngesimini if thina sidlala ngale ndlela sifuna udlala ngayo ndiyayazi for sure if siwinile ngomgqibelo noba umnye noba babini bazoza keli cala because ekupheleni kwemini namhlanje le nto abantu bebelelwa yona ngalamini thina I think sile team yethu siyabonakalisa le nto bebelelwa yona yabo. And I think as World Cup zimbini siziwinile sinabantu abamnyama namagama abayi-7 kule team yokuqala kuyesibini benye beba-8 so siyaphambili but siya-understanda why abantu bekule ndawo sikuyo
kodwa mabagoduke babuyele ekhaya.
Can you show last one, quick one?
So look, there's one more there. The slang also.
So umqeqeshi ntoni enyenza kakuhle xa nihleli phakathi lapha boxeni nijongile ibala lizavele labalandeli babo nabethu but into ziguqukile ngoku baninzi abethu kulula babo ingathi niqelo zopolitiko nikhampenile nto nenze kakuhle.
Abona into uzukhumbule kaloku abaqeqeshi esinabo ngokuqala pha kuRassie Erasmus kumfana usuke dispatch wayedlala irugby uyayazi i-challenges esinazo as a country and uRassie into endiyithalayo kahle uyayivula inhliziyo athethe ngendlela i-plans zakhe bazithini i-goals zakhe and thina umsebenzi wethu njenge-assistant coaches ukuthi make sure uba siyasupport i-vision yakhe and into endiyithandayo kuye like usiye betshilo uba eyona nto ibalulekileyo kuwina qala. So wonke umdlalo phaa kula qela lethu bonke baselectwe on merit bayaperforma xa befumana opportunities zabo eyona nto isibalulekileyo leyo. Okwesibini besithethe nge-transformation. Transformation, I know people always black and white. Transformation is to make sure uba siyayikhulisa iqela lethu silisa phambili yabona and uyajonga indlela ngoku esidlala ngayo even nabantu abakhona kula coaching staff yethu. We've got coaches all over around the world. Yabona le transformation sithatha ngayo ke leyo not only because of black and white. We've got now Tony Brown who's helping us with the attack. Ane uyayibona ne-transformation uba siyaphi ngendlela esi-atheka ngayo yabona. So thina singabaqeqeshi even ne-match last week umsebenzi wethu we've got plans xa kufuneka uyodlala ku-game plan siyayazi xa singa izinto zingenzeki kakuhle siyayazi apho iziphoso zikhona yabona. Kulapho ke thina ke umsebenzi wethu ezikhosi sithi make sure sifocus kwi-rugby sifocus kule nto kufuneka siyenzile sikwazile noko ukuthetha izinto half time last week noko i-behavior yakwazi utshintsha also xa usubona phaa kwi-60th minute indlela esitshintshe ngayo with the-impact yethu esebhentshini. So umsebenzi wethu thina ukuthi make sure that sifocus erugbyini and osiya bayayazi ii-players ebaleni uba yinto le kufuneka yenzekile and I feel like last week khona ixesha uba besingakhange sizenze kakuhle izinto besiziplanile but kodwa ke la last 16 minutes egemini I think zonke into zahamba kakuhle and also credit must go to kule nto kibhenchi yethu bakwazi ufaka impact.
But enye into I will say it in English because also for us what they do with Coach Rassie, like people say transformation is putting bad players in the team, but for us they put guys in the team who are good enough to be there, but then they upskill us. Like when I became captain, Coach Rassie has known me since I was 18 years old. He knows that I will probably struggle at the beginning because I was shy. This is a big thing, and I was very scared. And then he made the pressure points. He made everybody a leader in the team so that I had one job, and my only job was to talk to the ref and manage the team's discipline. So each guy had a role. So I'm growing, everybody else is also growing. Now we have so many leaders in the team. Then outside that, in the past they would say black guys are not good at high balls. Coach Rassie picked black guys and colored guys at wing. Coach Stick teach them every single time. Are those guys? He calls them the flyers. They're just flying after every training session. So each skill, like when I used to play, everybody known me for my running game. Then my game changed. I had to tackle, do breakdown, run back. They coached me that. Then I became that. That's what I love doing. You don't just put people there and say go, and then you have one bad game, and then some guys you never see. That's what happened in the past. But now we are well equipped and we are confident and we can go out there and play. And the guy next to you trusts you. He knows you're not here just because of your skin color. You're here because you've worked hard and you've showed him in the weekend, you've earned his respect. And that's what this management team has done differently to everybody else. And the most important thing, they've been open and honest about the team, to the team, and said, we're going to win. We have to have a certain amount of black players in the group, where in the past it was hidden. It wasn't really to be spoken about, where you as a player, you don't know where you stand. He says, no, this team is losing, but I have to have this kind of, and we knew that, and we made it work as a team. Like the honesty is the most important for any player. Whether and Coach Rassie sits there and he says, I think this guy is gonna play this weekend because I think he's better, is this in front of everyone. The back-to-back stuff is not there, then I don't wonder as a player. I know exactly what's happening. So that just made us buy into it as players. Sometimes you don't like what the coach says, but you buy into it.
So you guys joke a lot, so would you like another question? Or can we call it
No, it's good.
happiness? Thank you very much, guys.
Following that, Gavin and I had a chat. My colleague Gavin Rich and I had a chat about the game, about who we think is going to win, where the key areas are. That's also on this website, but I'm going to put it right in this segment now. A really great chat with him, and I'm going to have him more on. I've seen there's been some positive comments about that, so we'll get him back on again soon. And Gav's always a good value. Okay. Stand in front of everybody and do it, yeah?
Yeah, well, if you want to.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're standing here as myself with my colleague Gavin Rich. Hello, Gavin.
How's it, Brendan?
And we're going to talk a bit about the All Black test tomorrow. Big game. Boks can be 4-0 up. They could have, as I think somebody said, 6 out of the last 8. So is that a stranglehold?
Well, I think that the games have all been pretty close, but and the New Zealanders, if you listen to some of the New Zealand apologists, they'll say, well, the games were close, so there's not that much between the teams. But if one team keeps winning, even if it's just by 1 point, that does means something, because it's actually what is on the scoreboard at the end, who gets the W, that matters. So I think that the Boks are starting to get a bit of a stranglehold, maybe not quite yet as big as some people are making out, but if they win tomorrow and they've made it 6 out of 8, then I think we're heading in that direction. And I also think the Boks, if they win tomorrow, are probably going to win with something to spare. So I don't know if it's going to be one of those games that's going to be that close.
It's quite an intriguing prospect, because there's for so long now, the last couple of games, you know, guys like Sasha and some of the youngsters, Apelele, those guys getting their chances, and everyone's been raving about those guys and how they've done this season. But now the old guard, who's sort of almost been forgotten, the Andre Pollards, for instance, on our back, and they've got these guys nipping at their heels and are under a bit of pressure to produce. We know they can produce.
Well, one of the things that Rassie has spoken about as one of his objectives with his selection policy is that he feels that it preserves the longevity, what preserves the playing careers, how long they go, by not playing every week. You'll remember Jake White used to always talk about Osterrand in 2007, how he was like an old diesel tractor and he had to be wound up. And remember, I mean, it used to be a big talking point back in those days that Ost didn't play in every single game, but that is the right way to go. I mean, there's some cricketers who are like that as well, some fast bowlers who get managed, and if you want the Sia Khaleesi's, the Eben Etzebeths, the Peter Steph du Toits, I'm talking about 3 guys who I think are pretty indispensable. If you want them to still be around in 2027, then you need to use them sparingly, and that's really what he's doing. I mean, I use Peter Steph advisedly, because he's a bit of a freak of nature, that guy. I mean, he goes for 80 minutes every week. I don't know if he knows how to slow down. He's definitely not a diesel engine. He's more of a Ferrari.
Yeah, he is. I mean, it's good. That's, I think, one of the worrying things is how do you replace those guys? But they're starting to bring newer guys. I'm not quite sure that the Ben Jason Dixons and Salman Marats are quite the like for like at this stage. Do you think both of them could get to the same level?
I think they do. I think they could. I mean, Salman's got huge potential. He's had potential since he was a school kid. I remember watching him at the Craven Week at Kearsley College in 2016, and there he was earmarked as a future star. The other big future star at that Craven Week was actually one Damien Willemse, who I saw just walk past just now. Damien's made it, but then Damien's a back. He didn't have Eben Etzebeth in his way. And Ben Jason Dixon, I think, was at that Craven Week as well. Not quite as lauded and as celebrated as the others, but then he's a player who does the donkey work. I think look, I spoke to John Dobson the other night when I was doing a feature on Ben Jason, and he says that he reckons he'll be as good as Peter Steph du Toit. He just needs to obviously get up his work rate, and Ben Jason Dixon is one of those players who is an incredibly sort of driven guy. He's an incredible hard worker. He's very honest with himself, as you know, because you would have seen his Instagram post. So I think Ben Jason Dixon will make it. Look, you can't, as Dobbo also said to me, you know, in sport we always talk about the next, in inverted commas, like the next Graham Pollock. For those those of us who watched cricket in those years, like there would never be another Graham Pollock, and there was an A.B. de Villiers. He wasn't exactly the same, but he came through, and he's as talented a player, even though he wasn't a Graham Pollock. I think that, and if it's not Peter Steff, it'll be if it's not Ben Jason who comes through, there'll be somebody else, somebody we don't know about yet, who might be playing age group rugby. Maybe there'll be a lock who gets converted to flank. Remember, Peter Steff was playing flank early in his career. When he was at the same stage of his career as Ben Jason Dixon is now, he was still playing flank. And I remember how Alistair Coetzee got slammed by the critics when he chose Peter Steff on the flank for a game against England at Twickenham. I think what was really a bit incongruous in that game was that he had Willem Alberts, from what I recall, at open side flank. That was actually the real mistake. So Peter Steff never had a chance in that game, and he was shown up. I remember, I think it was Danny Kerr ran past him twice, and it was the big, he was ridiculed in the British media. I wonder what those people would say now. But yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We're talking about 4 years hence. Ben Jason's 26 now. He's around. He could be around if he's, the next World Cup after Australia would be 30 in 2031, and Ben Jason will then be, by my reckoning, 33. So yes, he's an investment for the future. But when it comes to blindside flanks and locks, you've actually got to be very good to actually be a South African guy who's going to come through and be that guy. And maybe that's what you're saying. Is Ben Jason that good? Well, his coaches say so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that just on Eben and Solomon, I think the obvious thing is maybe Solomon's not as aggressive as Eben is, or as feisty as is probably the better word, as Eben when you see him on the field. But that doesn't mean technically he's not as good.
I've seen Solomon play some very good games for the Stormers, and unfortunately, after just about every single one of them, he ends up getting injured, and that's really the problem. I mean, you've got players that get injured a lot. I mean, Andre was injured for quite a while at one point, and and then he came back, and he took a while to get back into it. It's the way it is. So, but Solomon has been unlucky in the last couple of matches. I can't remember. Did he see out the Portugal game? I can't remember, but certainly against Australia and Perth, he went off early on with the HIA problem. That was very unlucky. I mean, I think that he might have shown people how good he was in that game, but he never really got the opportunity.
Now tomorrow's game, big one. All Blacks made some changes. 2 new wingers there, Sever Rees, Mark Talea. Both of them played before. We've seen them before. They're both deadly when they get the chance. Obviously to try and cover the aerial game a bit better, although I didn't think Caleb Clark did that badly.
Well, Caleb Clark's injured.
Yeah, I know he's injured.
Yeah, everybody's been going on about Caleb Clark, as if it was a volitional change on their part. It's not. He's injured. So, but it doesn't really matter who plays on the wing for the All Blacks. They'll always be very dangerous when they run. But you are right. Some of them are better on the high ball than others. What makes All Blacks dangerous tomorrow, in my view, is that Will Jordan. I was going to say Will Young. Will Jordan is, to my mind, a genuine fullback. Bowden Barrett, to me, is still a fly half who plays fullback, whereas I think that Will Jordan is a genuine fullback, and I think it makes a difference to him the way he sees the field. When you're standing at fullback, you have that wide vision of the field, and you're running onto the ball, and you make spaces and gaps where other people wouldn't be able to. And I think that's possibly a danger tomorrow for the Boks, is that Will Jordan's there. But then you could probably say the same about Willie Leroux. Although Afalele Fassi was so good last week, I think there's a bit more connectedness to the South African attacking game when you've got Willie there, for the simple reason that he's been there for so long, and as we know, he's got that sort of distribution game and that ability to come in as the second receiver, which somebody like Afalele Fassi wouldn't have even if he could do it, he wouldn't have the confidence to do it this early in his international career.
I think also, to me, I think part of the selection also sends the message that last week the youngsters, they actually physically dominated New Zealand. We both agreed on that last week while we were sitting at Ellis Park. But the amount of mistakes they made sort of hampered them, and then they gave away 2. The one turnover try and the intercept try were easy tries, cheap tries, if we can say that. So this is almost the sort of thing that when we get that advantage, you've got to put the hammer down, and Rassie wants those experienced guys to put that hammer down tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were sitting next to each other. One of the things that surprised me this week was that the narrative coming out of New Zealand was that we dominated the first 60 minutes. I never thought that they dominated. I thought that they dominated maybe the first 10 minutes. The first 10 minutes they did. The Springboks hardly got their hands on the ball. So they dominated that period. Springboks had to really scramble then. But after that, I thought systematically the Boks were taking a physical control of the game, and they just couldn't get over the line, or they made mistakes, as you say. They made too many mistakes. They tried to rush things. I do think that somebody like Sasha, if there's one problem in his career at the moment, is that he's so young and precocious that he maybe overtries things and overplays. Andre won't do that, but then I think that Sasha's going to have a huge role to play when he comes onto the field. So to answer your question, I think that the Springboks, as the game wore on last week, and it wasn't just in the last 10 minutes, they started to become the superior team. It always felt to me, like sitting from the vantage point of the Ellis Park press box, it looked to me that they had the gain line dominance and that sort of thing for a long time. It was just that they just couldn't get over the line. I mean, Kwagga Smith went through how many tackles, and I mean, they made so much ground. Tomorrow, I think that they might just round those off. And the talk out of New Zealand has been, as I wrote in my preview this morning, there's been like the sort of narrative coming out of there that we won't let them off the hook. I mean, we won't let them off the hook this time. I don't think that the Springboks will get onto the hook this time. I don't think that they're going to bite. I think that Rassie's chosen the right team to dominate from the beginning. Maybe not dominate, but systematically wear New Zealand down. I don't think that we're going to see the fast start from New Zealand we saw last week. Everybody talks about Fortress Ellis Park. I don't think there's any such thing, not when it comes to playing against the All Blacks. The South Africa don't have a good record there in the last 15 years or so. In fact, they don't on the half felt. If you think about it, the last 2 times they've played, the last 3 times they've played in Pretoria, they've lost as well. So, and at Soccer City or F&B Stadium, they've lost. So South Africa have a long history of failure at the half felt, and there's a reason for that. And the All Blacks love that environment. They love the dry ball. They love the fast ground. Yeah. They love to stretch the game. I don't think they're going to find it as easy to stretch the game at Cape Town Stadium as they did at Ellis Park, and that's why I don't think that it's going to be the same kind of game.
So if I'd make a prediction, I'd say the Boks would eke out to win, but I would say it'd probably still be less than 7. You're going to be a lot more bullish than that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm being conservative when I say 10 points to the Boks. I think it could be more. I think that it is possible that we could see another Twickenham tomorrow.
That's a bold prediction. Well, let's hope it comes true, Gav. Thanks for chatting, man.
Cheers, no problem.
Finally went last night to one of the best spots in Cape Town, Blue Peter in Blouberg Strand. Watched the sunset there, and there it was a great evening, and lots of jolly banter over there, and the city's certainly geared up for the game. So tomorrow's the big day, and this has been an amazing Friday. A bit chilly, lots of wind in Cape Town, but when you get a view like this, it's pretty decent. So if you ever get to Cape Town, make your way down to Blue Peter. It's pretty decent. Other than that, it's going to be a big match. I think the Boks are probably favourites. I think they're going to want to put the hammer down. They're a lot more experienced, a lot more closers in their team this week. I think the All Blacks will feel they had the Boks for 68 minutes. I'm not quite so sure, as you heard Gavin say there. He thinks it's going to be a big victory. I still think these games are traditionally close. So I'm going to go for less than 7 points, but I think it's going to be a Bok victory, and it's going to be the 4th win in a row, 6 in the last 8. So there will be a stranglehold if that's the case. And let's hope it is, I mean, from a Springbok point of view. But if you're watching this from New Zealand, it's a big game, and these games are so special. There's nothing better than this. So from Cape Town, we're wonderful. It's building up. We're going to go have a beer before the game, and then we're going to go watch and write and work, and then the rest of my nights, press conferences and things like that. So keep an eye out on the channel for that. If you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button. But yeah, thanks for watching, and it's a big game. Get ready. I hope it's as massive as it was last week.